Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like a lot of wrestling on YouTube, join our cult. Hello and welcome once again to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. Joined as always by the man of the hour, who's too sweet to be sour, and he's the longest in the shower, Mr. Adam Pacitti.
Thanks very much. Nice to be here, Maffew.
And it's almost as nice to see you as it is to see the birthday boy himself.
Oh.
In the corner to my right, Jack. They call him Fred Flintstone because he makes their bed rock. The Jobber. How the hell are you both?
Woo!
Very good,
birthday.
Thank you. I should point out for anyone listening, it's not my birthday now on the Friday when this is going out. It's the Thursday. So don't be wishing me a happy birthday because you'll be wrong by the point that this podcast's out. But thank you very much. Cheers. How are you?
And the sentiment would be meaningless if you did.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, if you tweet at Jack, happy birthday, he'll just block you by the time you see this. And the dog's fallen. I'm all right.
Good.
We are in, for people who don't know, in the area that where all three of us are in. Last week, it got announced there was a local lockdown. And because the numbers kept on going up, we're in the, nah, mate, we're in a proper lockdown now. Last week was Hell in the Cell. This week, it's Kennel from Hell. So
Now, well, two things. First of all, blatantly, Boris has just wanted to ruin my birthday. That's why he's done this. It's a personal attack on me.
Yeah. He's a Wrestle Talk guy.
Yeah. But secondly, oh my God. But secondly, how is London not also right up there in terms of cases? I don't understand.
Not a clue. You should go to London. Get a train down to London. You love London. Celebrate there.
Famously, I love the city of London. I love London town. Ugh. It's
terrified of it, aren't you?
Yeah, it's not a nice place, parts of it. Same as anywhere, I suppose, but...
Yeah. I've been to Biker, and that's horrible.
Oh.
That's scarier than anywhere that I've ever been in London. Oh, right. I've upset you here. Here we go.
Right, so...
Pick on the southern boy.
What I will point out is, in Newcastle, you might hear a bit of lariness on a night out. You might see a fight or whatever. You don't really see knives and acid and stuff that you get in that London. Terrifying.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but yeah, it's certainly less prominent than...
Far less prominent.
Yeah, it's you walk in the wrong way, in the wrong direction for 5 minutes, and you can be in somewhere. I'm looking at a moving flat at the moment, and the area that I was looking at, it's not like an amazingly nice area or anything, but it's pleasant enough. But then I was scouting out the area, and I walked like 2 or 3 minutes down the road, and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't look very nice at all." So it can be like one street, can't it, separating you from?
Yeah.
Getting
Wait, Pacitti, where were you thinking of going?
No, because then you're going to have a go at me because you're going to go, that's not rough, and it is rough. I was looking at Bensham in Gateshead, and over by Gateshead Stadium as well. Yeah, Bensham, but like everybody was. People are giving me different advice on that, and they're going like, "Oh, Bensham, yeah, nice bits, bad bits. It's like anywhere else. Really, you want to go and live near the Jewish people?" That's what an Uber driver said to me last week, and he went, "They'll give you no trouble."
That sounds like something a taxi driver would say. Yeah,
the most positive form of racism you can get, I suppose. Yeah.
As someone who lives in. Technically Benwell, and it is Benwell, but it's not necessarily the bad bit of Benwell. I agree. But when people say things like Biker's rough and Walker's bad and Bensham's bad and all this, any place is going to be bad if you act like a numpty, if you're polite and respectful. If you go up and down going, Sunderland, 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 you're going to get your teeth kicked in, absolutely.
I mean, but if you do that in Jesmond, you're less likely to get your teeth kicked in than if you do it in, I don't know, Walker.
W-A-L-K. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there are certainly nice places and bad places. Where I live now, so I live right in the centre of town by the O2 Academy, and it can get pretty rough out there, but I've never had any trouble. And you know what? Walking around, I've never had any trouble either. I've been here for 3 years, and I've never been like shouted at or anything on a walk to work. Oh, actually, this morning, thinking about it, I was walking across the bridge coming in, and I saw somebody make eye contact, and I thought, it might be a wrestling fan because he was sustaining eye contact, and he got like I don't know, less than a metre away from me, and I had headphones in, but I just saw him go, Pacitti! And then just kept walking. Yep, that's my name. What am I meant to say to that? He's probably listening right now. You terrified me. I was listening to I Am Clute on the way in. You ruined it.
I've not been recognised for a long time.
Nah, we're not as popular as we were.
Not relevant anymore. No, not at all. There's also no wrestling shows, which is where I used to get recognised.
Yeah.
But,
it's a nice level of fame, isn't it? I'm sure we all feel the same. It's like sometimes people will buy you a drink if you're a wrestling show. That's a lovely thing. But generally, people aren't knobheads to you, and you're not going to get any crap in the street for being a global superstar, which we are, but in a small circle.
That's probably the most aggression I've ever had in the last few years in Newcastle. Has been at WCPW shows, and I remember one lad was going, "Oh, mate, let me buy you a drink," and all this. I'm like, "Mate, I've just had like 2," and he went, "No, I'm buying you a drink." And he got rather serious about the fact that this was not a question. Like, "Oh, all right, give me that." And then yeah, that's a proper way to annoy someone. So if you see someone on biker offering you a drink, you better accept it, Pacitti.
I'm never stepping foot in biker again. I'm stepping to Bencham. Bencham. What's the issue with what?
Be all right.
Biker's like a friendly rough. It's not sinister. Yeah.
What's the Jesmond that you were just talking about there? That's the dream, isn't it?
That's the dream.
Oh, you love it.
A white middle class man like myself.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
It's quite studenty, but it's the posh students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sourdough bread and nice, funky, flat white coffees and stuff like that. I'm all about that. Leaving behind my working class roots.
Yeah. The people who say they hate students, they're the students that people are talking about.
Yeah.
So enjoy your avocado sandwiches. What were you saying, Jack?
I'm not going. I mean, I'm sensing that maybe the Newcastle geography talk's winding down, but I will say the area,
hopefully,
the area that we're all near, where the office is near, Oosburn. Apparently, that used to be quite just rough and just a bit industrial, and then only very recently has it become all artsy and gentrified.
Sam said there was some like Guardian article or something, and it's in the top 10 places to live in the country, not just in the northeast.
Really?
People desperate to live here. It's just gentrified. It's like Newcastle Shoreditch, isn't it? It's just it's
cool
all
bit.
fancy pubs where it's £5.50 a pint, which to people in London will sound very appealing, I'm sure, because it's probably reached about £7 down there.
My favourite pubs in Oosburn. I love the Clooney.
I don't like it that much.
Do you not like the Clooney?
What?
Nah. I just don't think it's got any personality. I like the Ship, which is opposite. The Ship's a lovely pub. Better
Fair
beers
enough.
as well. No offence to the Clooney. That's the sponsorship gone, isn't it?
I like the Clooney.
Yeah.
So now we've discussed pubs, going out, visiting people, and walking around. Things that we can't do at the minute. Let's talk about watching wrestling. Anything we all can do.
We did it last week for somebody on the mailbag. Happy birthday to you.
did.
Happy birthday. You join in there. To you. Happy birthday, dear Jacking. Happy birthday to you. I love you, Dad. Hip hip hooray.
Yay! Happy 17th. Anyway, in wrestling news, Matt Cardona is already done with AEW. There's been an amicable split. He might go back, he may not. It's not like there's anything bad that's happened. It's just that was the end. Very undramatic run, if that is the end of it. He was quoted as saying, "I didn't go there just to get 3 T-shirts. I went there to win some championships, in brackets, and get 4 T-shirts." So
I think he'll be back. It explains the way, because I remember us all being a bit confused about the way he was booked, and then he was in, what was it, the multi-man tag on pay-per-view, and I was like, oh, it's a bit of a weird way to bring him in. I thought it'd have been a bit higher up the card, but that explains everything, doesn't it? I'd like to see him back personally, but they've got a big enough roster and a decent enough roster that they don't need him if he doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And I've just seen that green flash, so I suspect that we're going to see Jack.
Soon. Yeah.
Can we time it now? It's been 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Quick, get your thoughts on Zack Ryder as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he's done really well. I'm pleased for him that he got his little run, and I'm sure he'll be back, but I don't know if he'll be very high up the card, but, he's a likeable chap. There we go.
Fantastic one. Yeah, just drop the mic. From one likeable chap to another, Roman Reigns was asked about the possibility of wrestling CM Punk, and he said, yeah, I wouldn't mind to. Quote, "I don't like the guy. I don't know many people who do, but I'm willing to put business first and make really good content if that's the case. But he'd probably have to be slapped around a few times in order to get his mind right. But if the fans in the audience is going to like it and to be in it, most likely, I'm willing to do it. Your thoughts there, Jack?
I relate more to snarky, cynical, non-athlete who turned into an athlete CM Punk than handsome, stacked, tattooed, ladies' dream Roman Reigns. But, I'm really enjoying what Roman's doing at the minute. I imagine he's trying to coax Punk back for a big money match, but maybe he genuinely doesn't like him. I don't know.
We posted it in the morning news group that we got on Slack, this instant messaging service that we use to chat in the office, especially when we're all remote. And Jack's response was, I really hope CM Punk doesn't come back and just get beaten by Roman Reigns. Maybe not in that tone.
I said if Roman, no, it was because I said if Roman beats Punk, I will probably cry or something like that. Yeah.
I'd love to see it. It's a match that I'd really, really love to see, and I'd love to see Roman go over as well.
He's got it as well. He's got to win as well. Yeah.
They'd have to do it, but it would only happen on Fox, not on WWE. In other news, Joey Ryan sadly exists. That's the news. James Storm's quoted as saying that he was going to start with WWE right after WrestleMania, but due to that pesky COVID, he wasn't able to. So,
I wouldn't mind seeing him. I wouldn't mind seeing him in that. The only way that I really would like to see him is the way that we're probably not going to see him. Maybe they would, but I'd just like to see beer money. That's the best work that he's done in his career as far as James Storm goes. Obviously, Bobby had a decent NXT career, but has been lackluster on the main roster. Those two as a tag team, I'd really like to see it. Would they go back to the well with that being sort of TNA's thing? Maybe, maybe not. But that's the only way that I'd like to see him. He must be getting on a bit, James Storm, right? Got to be sort of early 40s.
Yeah, so it's perfect for a main roster run now.
Way.
How about you, Jack?
I'd like to see it, but only if they then brought in the machine guns to beat them. Ha ha.
Speaking of former greats in Impact Wrestling, RVD has parted way with Impact Wrestling, thus removing the best bit of Impact Wrestling from Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, it was a month-by-month contract, right? And they just decided he can't be... He must be a pretty penny. I remember reading an interview from like 2017 with him, and he was saying, because everybody's speculating now a WWE run must be coming, but he said back then, because he's had so many concussions, his eyesight is very poor at the moment, and WWE won't book him full-time. So we might see him come back in with, God, who was it? Sergeant Slaughter, the Hurricane, and Kurt Angle? Is that right?
Stable, that classic four. Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
So we might see the odd thing there. We might see a frog splash or whatever, but I don't think we'll see him back full time, which is a shame because he's still really entertaining. You sort of know what you're getting with RVD, don't you? He's just like an RVD match now for the last 10 years is just an RVD match.
I just remember if WWE got him back in, it would definitely, it wouldn't be for a wrestling role. But I remember that 5-star wrestling tour. And he did his spot when he drapes someone over the guardrail, then he gets on the apron and does his spin kick and like drops the leg over the back of over their back. And he did it to Zach Gibson and nearly killed him. It was, oh man, he hit him like on the head and Zach Gibson fell down. And then there was another show apparently where there was a big brawl and Grado ran out to save RVD, but RVD got confused about who was on his team. So he hit Grado, and apparently Grado just started pissing himself laughing.
Well, it's an easy mistake. Grado is so detestable. He's an obvious heel, isn't he? Why wouldn't you kick him in the face? Yeah. Fantastic.
All the fans booing Grado as he came in the rings. Must be a baddie. Anyway, if you haven't seen any of RVD's run this year or the last year in Impact Wrestling, don't watch his matches. Just watch his skits, because Rob Van Dad, as I've dubbed him, has been so amazing. So, of course, he's gone from Impact. In other news, quarantine strikes again, not just the Northeast feeling the effects. The women's tag match, Clash of Champions, and the match with Nikki Cross versus Bayley was taken off of Clash of Champions. Get that in a second. They're currently quarantined. Also, Hot Raw act Retribution. Didn't stop him from going on Twitter, though, as T-Bar decided to at me.
You got done, Maffew. It was good.
I loved it. There's so many. It's so funny to me that there's so many cynical wrestling fans now who are like, we know how the business works. I write for, fishermansuplex.net. Let me give my opinion on everything. Let me give my
That's not a
opinion
real
on
one, is it?
everything.
That's the one
No, it's not.
That's the one you've made up, isn't it? I'm not just laughing.
It'd be great if it's a
Yeah.
real one now, but like, let me tell you everything that's happening in this. And, T-Bar, who goes from tweeting about, we're going to take over the WWE and all this, and I'm going to get you, my name is T-Bar, to Maffew sucks and needs to be taken down. And suddenly there's all these people going, yeah, get him.
They nailed it, though, haven't
He's
they?
speaking the truth. And again, it's funny as hell, but this is why wrestling breeds sociopaths. Currently, bear with me for a second, going down the Christopher Nolan path here. Dijak is currently playing a character called Dijakovic, who is maybe playing the character of T-Bar. We haven't quite decided yet. Who is currently playing the Twitter version of a Raw character, but is completely different to that. All this is going on, he's just tweeting about whatever to keep his character relevant and to keep the fans. At the same time, all that's happening, he's DMing me and we're going, ha ha ha. Everyone thinks we hate each other.
Don't spoil it. Don't reveal
wonder
it.
wrestlers.
Pro wrestling's greatest secrets revealed.
Oh no. But yeah,
It's a stunt, Granny.
So again, it's just, I loved it, by the way. And I loved it. Like everybody else I saw was like really mad or like, yeah, get him. Or defending him. Like, no, leave poor Maffew alone. What has he done to deserve such mockery? Which is hilarious. And it's me going, this is mid.
It's great, and they're doing such a good job of like, it'll continue. They're targeting the people who are prominent in this sort of internet wrestling community. Like I saw they'd done Miller as well. Done him in.
Yeah, but that was real
Murked
Pacitti.
him. That was that was no DMs there. And yeah, there's just a really, really clever way of doing it, because you're going to get on the side of the fans that find you the most laughable or found you the most laughable just by being funny. Like, I like them now. I want them back on TV. And the TV version is going to be completely different from the social media version, but they're good value, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah, they really are. I'm really enjoying it as well. They didn't have a go at me, and I'm sad.
Yeah, I feel a bit left out as well.
Yeah.
I might start.
Oh, sorry. There's so many other people quote tweeting them to get their clout. Delicious clout. Give it some time. There's a queue, and that was the news. We can go straight away into Clash of Champions, though, if you'd like.
We were going to do that in this week, just so that we don't have the weird SmackDown Clash of Champions non-linear.
That would make sense, wouldn't it, Jack? Look, we're listening to criticism. And in that case, that is the end of the news, and I'm going to do a big clap.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame!
And now it's time for everyone's favourite segment, the Hall of Fame. And in condescending order from last week, Big Show's big yellow shirt. And I went and checked with the guy that sent me all those tweets. A year in the making. Yeah, 18%. Thanks to the effort, pal. Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 25%.
Robbed.
Yeah. But unsurprisingly, number one, not just in the list, but in our heart as well. Sister channel, Triple Jump with 87%.
No, but I cheaped at that. It was an easy, it's an unsatisfying win for me. It was like your retail workers at Christmas. It was just me, but you know what I mean. I give that one up because that's actually a hat trick. I think I've had 3 in a row there, which I'm I should be proud of, but I'm not because I went for the cheap, lazy populist option. So not taking anything away from Triple Jump, who absolutely deserve the accolade, but at the same time, it wasn't on from me. Sorry.
Right
so
here,
a crap one
in
this
Triple
week.
Jump. Yeah. Well, as the winner of last week, Pacitti, you can go first this week with your... that definitely will not be a cheap pick this week, will it not, Pacitti?
No, it's really not.
Good.
Mine is terminally ill children because I think they need... No, it's not. It's... I wouldn't... it's Borat Sagdiev. I'm going for. Yeah, just because Sagdiev, yeah. Which I think is spelled Sagdiev. Nobody cares. So I'm going for Borat because he's got a new film coming out this month now. We're in October, right? Just before the election, I think it's scheduled to come out. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. And just because simply it's a character that I love and it takes me back, and I don't watch that much new comedy. Like the newest thing that I've watched is probably This Country, which I think finished probably about a year and a bit ago now, in fact. But I love Borat so much, and it's just my style of humor, like going around winding people up, and there's literally never been anyone better at that than Sacha Baron Cohen. And he doesn't really care who he upsets. I was reading an interview with him, and he was saying, like, with his new film, he had to wear a stab-proof or a bulletproof vest, rather, twice while filming it. And I never thought we would see that character in North America really again, because everybody knows who Borat is a really very famous character. But he's managed to get away with it, and I can't wait. So there's no other reason than that. It's just something that I find really funny and has brought me a huge amount of joy in my life. I remember watching the special that came out on Channel 4 probably 10 years, if not longer ago now, before the film came out, where he did at the end the Throw the Jew Down the Well song. And it's satire for anyone who doesn't know what Borat is. He's mocking racists and xenophobes. He's not actually right. Let's just because there's going to be like. No, he's not. There's gonna because there's gonna be not be
because there's gonna be teenagers listening to this like, hang on, Pacitti's nominated this guy.
And he's it's the most that I can remember ever laughing. I remember cry laughing at him doing it, and it's just, and I can't wait for everybody to be doing Borat impressions again, because that's obviously. But it's going to be like, it's going to be like Borat all over again, the Little Britain impressions and all that, and everybody saying "wow, wow, wee, wah." Can't wait. Jack,
I've gone for a wrestling one this week. Unlike me, I'm going for as a pair, MJF and Chris Jericho, because any segment with the pair of them in is so good. It's like there was one this week, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But there was two bits that really made me laugh, both from Jericho, actually. When Sammy Guevara's like, "What are you doing here, MJF? Get out of here." And then Jericho goes, "Hold on, Sammy. What are you doing here, MJF? Get out." That was brilliant. And then the last line, I don't know if it was even meant to be funny. I think it was. It was the cheesiest, hammiest delivery ever. Jericho, like MJF leaves and Sammy goes like, "What an idiot." And then Jericho goes, "Perhaps he's not." It's just so like, it was so cheesy. I think he pauses with a drink to his mouth as well and goes, "Maybe he's not." It's so good. I can't wait for one of them to turn on the other, or for them to team, or something to happen, because every segment with the pair of them in is gold. You can tell that Jericho really loves working with MJF and like realizes how good he is, and probably sees a lot of himself in him as well, to be fair. So it's just really, really good. So mine's the pairing of MJF and Chris Jericho.
We've got our winner here. Maffew, quick, retail workers at Christmas.
The dying retail workers at Christmas. No, those are nice. It's weird you say those the combination of Chris Jericho and Borat, because someone sent me a video that's Jericho doing I become, Judison, my wife. And of course, that would be the pairing that we get. Anyway, what was I going to do? Oh, I've been doing some Twitch. 2 of them so far, in fact, because eventually Cultaholic will have to have me on like they said they would. I think that's something Pacitti forgot about, and I was like,
we talked about that like last week, Maffew. It's like, if you've got the setup from home, start next week. You can start next week, mate.
Okay. Anyway,
things have been thrown into pandemonium because we've had to shut down the office again. He says in the office. It's just me.
Yeah. But anyway, as I said, we don't know any idea what's happening with that. So I did it myself just to get the grips and get all the teething issues out of the way. And there's been some really nice people on the Twitch coming in and just on the chat. And I'm trying to play a game badly. But the chat's been more interesting than anything I'm doing, which was Eat a Palmo, which is the last one I'm having until 2023. Bloody hell. But one thing that came up, just as we're talking about stuff, is like what are the nice free pleasures in life that don't cost anything? And we went through a bunch of them, like kicking a big pile of leaves, crunching on just dropped on snow on the floor. I didn't say that very well, but you know what I mean. And that was one of them, yes. And the one I'm going to vote for, because people suggested it on the Twitch chat, and I think it'll be very good, just to see if people are the same wavelength as myself. You all ready for bed? Long, hard day at work. Time to go, 40 winks. You get into bed first, then you take off your socks.
What?
That is one of the simplest pleasures of life, I find.
Never done it.
That's not the order you do things.
This is why I prefer Twitch than you do people, because I did that on Twitch and everyone was like, "Yes, Maffew, yes, that's exactly right. We fully relate to this." I do it with you two world-weary people and you're like, what are you talking about, you freak?
No, how is that world-weary? It's just, maybe by accident if I've forgotten to take them off.
You should try it.
I thought you were going to go like fresh bedding, new sheets.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I can't remember the last time I got into bed with socks.
Socks on. Yeah.
And I certainly don't think
if I have
done it, which I'm sure I have, taken them off thinking, that's the ticket. What?
That's the stuff.
You haven't done it right. Do it again. Do it again. And then next week, you can tell us what you think, because this one is clearly, like Mr. Blobby in 93, this is going clearly to number one. All right, just saying. One second. And if you don't think that's any good, like, these people here, then you should message let us know what you think are the nice pleasures in life, the free ones.
6%.
It'll be such a good 6%.
It's a nice one. How about waking up with an awful hangover and that first drink of water where it tastes sweet?
Yeah,
I like that one. Or doing a wee after you've woken up.
Doing a wee.
Doing a wee. Doing a wee's a nice feeling, Matt. I needed a piss. What was it? Yesterday, day before, when I was doing a stream, I'd had a bit to drink, and I held it because I'm a pro. I didn't want to leave my station, and then when I went to do my pee, it lasted like 2 minutes, and it was a great feeling. Better than taking your socks off in bed. What's meant to be nice about it?
It's just nice, especially if you've been walking a lot. You've done a lot of stuff. It involves exercise. So if you've done a lot of stuff there, and you're just like, that's just a nice... I mean, do you sleep with your socks on?
No.
Okay.
I hate
you're
it.
not that weird then.
If I ever lay on my bed and like accidentally nap or something, and I wake up with socks on, I feel really ill. It makes me like all groggy and horrible.
That ties in with what I was gonna say, because I was thinking of things that are the opposite of what Matthew's saying, like not simple pleasures, but like tiny little horrible things in life. And one of them is when you wake up, when you've fallen asleep by accident, maybe you're drunk or something. I did it on Monday night because I was staying up to watch Raw, and then I woke up with the light on and my jeans on, and I just was. Yeah, it's just a horrible, horrible feeling, isn't it? It's just awful. Yeah. Jeans all light, but in combination, dreadful. Yeah.
But
poor guy.
In a weird way, though, I associate. Bye, Jack. In a weird way, though, I associate that feeling. It'll be back in a minute if this is your first time watching the Fun of Discord. I associate the feeling of going to sleep in your jeans, or waking up, I guess, in your jeans, with good times, because they would only happen at house parties, festivals, riotous occasions with friends.
Yeah, that makes
of course.
sense.
Yeah, you're right. If you're in your house by yourself, that's a bit weird. Maybe Owen and you had a bit of a shindig, but I get what you're talking about. Yeah. Food for thought there of Cultaholic's Hall of Fame. And if you would like to vote in the most prestigious of Hall of Fames, don't worry, you can. Simply go to patreon.com/Cultaholic. I love you guys laughing at that every time. The ones to vote for are Borat. And by the way, when you said his full name, I thought, hey, is that somebody else then? So I almost started Googling and he went, the film. All right, yeah, that Borat. Okay. Jack's combination of Chris Jericho and MGF. Or the simple pleasure of getting into bed, then taking your socks off.
Terrible.
Just say, you're shaking your head, but if we do this next week and it's a unanimous, it'll be the first 100%
we'll find
vote.
Out. Let's find out. You know what's really horrible, just before we move on, coming back from the beach and getting sand in your bed accidentally.
Oh, God, yeah.
Or crumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Crumbs in your bed's a bit grim, yeah.
Patreon.com/Cultaholic.
This week in the wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
And now, this week in wrestling. And again, I'd like to preface this. These are the notes from WWE.com. So I'm going to do my best. If I start laughing uncontrollably,
I've trimmed them down. I've trimmed them down this week just because it went on a bit last time. But they're still quite long. They don't get to the point. They're trying to get their word count up. So
you could just shut your eyes and be the power of ASMR. If you didn't see SmackDown, well, here you go. Sami Zayn defeated AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy in a triple threat match to set up the ladder match following 2 days' time. True to form, True to form, erotic chaos erupted once again between Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles during the IC.
There's been some meddling here. There's been a bit of meddling.
says here, copy pasted from WWE.com. But Chidi wouldn't lie to me. As the titles were raised towards the rafters, the three competitors brawled, and Styles was added to the scheduled match between Hardy and Zayn. After the pre-match fireworks, the mayhem continued as each competitor gained control during stretches of the match. What was happening? Following a wild sequence of kicks, Styles landed another flying phenomenal forearm on Hardy. As Styles went for the pin, the Hungry Hound from the Underground.
I can't tell if that's real or not, that one.
That's real.
Snuck in and threw him off to steal the win for himself.
That's what they call him, the Hungry Hound from the Underground. Cole's always shouting that. It's boss time and the big dog in that.
I didn't see this bit of SmackDown. I just skipped the Roman Reigns bit because I'm a sane human being. I don't know if that's a real thing or not, because it could be. I could visualize Michael Cole yelling it.
It is real.
That's good satire. What did you guys think of this?
Yeah, it's good. I just want to talk about the match itself. Loved the match on Sunday. We'll get there in a second, but it was a good setup and everything. Yeah, it was decent.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot how good that. Yeah, we'll talk about it a bit.
Nakamura defeated Grand Metalik after a flurry from the King of Strongest Styles. Nakamura connected from a devastating Kinshasa to finish off the match. Cesaro then took out Lince Dorado as Kalisto remained unscathed on the outside.
I didn't put Kinshasa.
Kinshasa.
I don't think I did. Don't remember doing it. Yeah.
Kinshasa. That really sets up Lucha House Party getting any victory at the whatever. King Corbin defeated Matt Riddle. The strength of Corbin proved too much as a powerbomb reversal of Riddle's big hard triangle appeared to swing the match. Riddle authored a huge rally. Oh, that's just brutal English. But the King reigns supreme with an end of days defeat the original bro. Riddle authored a huge rally.
That's real as well.
Authored a huge rally. Oh.
This is satire. It's most satirical, Pacitti, because I can't... Anyway, move on, because that's got nothing to do with Clash of Champions. So skip ahead to Alexa Bliss versus Lacey Evans into the contest. All right, Evans took control of the match until the chilling image of the Fiend appeared throughout the screen surrounding the ring. His presence brought a vacant look to Bliss's milky eyes.
I added milky.
And the superstar...
Not even milky.
And the superstar brutally attacked her opponent until the official stopped the match with his hands.
What?
The official stopped his match with his hands?
Yeah.
That's how he did it. Yeah. I forgot about that one, yeah. It's all right. There are fewer of them. It'll all wind down soon. I didn't bother with AEW or NXT.
Oh, Christ.
I got bored.
Before exiting, Bliss landed one more Sister Abigail to Evans and delivered an eerie glare to Roman Reigns, who was walking down the ramp with the pride of 1,000 soldiers.
Yeah, that was me again.
All right, one more bit and we'll go to SmackDown.
Like, it's a bit, you're a bit of like it's like Homer's Iliad or Odyssey. It's quite, quite a good writing style, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Oh, the big dog barks in the face of his cousin.
He did.
Okay, be strong. The Universal Champion came out at the end of the episode to address what Uso said earlier in the night. As Heyman began to speak, he was interrupted by Jay's music, and Roman was not happy about that. Let me tell you. Roman told Jay that he'd give him the title, but he wouldn't know what to do with it. Then when Jay was heading up the ramp, Roman hit him with a Superman punch because he's a wrong-un. Okay, cool. What are your thoughts on the Roman Reigns segment, Mr. Jack?
Oh, Jey Uso's promo was absolutely brilliant. So good. It made me want him to win, but of course he was never going to. But that's the point. So I was pleased with that. It was very good. What did you think, Adam?
It was an amazing promo. That last line where he was like, they always ask me, which one are you? It's just very poignant. Brilliant writing. And like, I think it's one thing that WWE, when they get it right, it's often the performers, understandably, who get the praise. But the writing of that promo, and it will have been, I think, fairly carefully scripted, was really strong. Stronger than the website copy.
You know that's not true, Pacitti. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I also liked the segment earlier on. We got 2 segments out of Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns could not be bothered to get up out of his comfy chair. So they had to do one later on. I've never related to Roman Reigns before in my life, but I can definitely relate to that moment. And yeah, Jey Uso saying, when they see me, they ask which one I am. And then on the skipping ahead, during the match itself at Clash of Champions, Corey Graves got them mixed up and called him Jimmy.
Oh.
Did he? I didn't catch that.
The problem is as well, I've met one of the Usos.
Don't know which one it was.
I was drunk.
Okay.
But...
Well, so were they.
He was fine. He was very polite.
And that brings us nicely to Clash of Champions on Sunday. And it's for someone who watches Raw every week and the bits of SmackDown he can be arsed with. I had no anticipation for this pay-per-view and was really, really pleasantly surprised by it overall. Do quick results here. SmackDown Tag Champs Cesaro and Nakamura defeated Lucha House Party.
On the pre-show, yeah.
Yeah, on the pre-show, Lucha House Party had as much chance as winning the lottery as they did beating these 2 guys here. But it was still fun because it's the most Lucha I've seen in ages, and it was just nice seeing Cesaro smash people around like that. Like one of those baggage handler people throwing people in the airplanes. Sami Zayn defeated Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles to win the IC title in a ladder match I know you guys are really wanting to talk about. So why don't you go ahead, Jack?
Oh, it was brilliant. I was a big fan of Sami Zayn, and I feel like he never gets the chances he deserves. I really went into this thinking he's not really got much of a chance of winning, but I hope he does. And then he did, and the way he did was brilliant. I love the handcuff stuff. I love this selling throughout the match. Almost verging on Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam 2005. There's one bump where he got whipped into a ladder and bounced on it like 3 times on his way down. It's so good. Yeah, really enjoyed it. It was my favourite match on the show. Yeah. Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, favourite ladder match in ages. I agree. I think the spots were really inventive. Excuse me. Pleasantly surprised also by the Sami win because I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it would be Jeff. Very, very happy to be wrong there. And yeah, just the number of sick bumps, bro, that they took. It was just really painful looking stuff. Like, there were so many spots that looked agonizing and that were there was no way of doing that stuff without getting legit hurt. And yeah, it was great, and I really enjoyed the triple threat ladder match at WrestleMania as well. That was one of my favorite matches from Mania weekend, but this one surpassed it. Yeah, it was just brilliant.
Yeah, just the visual of Jeff Hardy trying to climb up a ladder with a ladder in his ear, and then AJ Styles getting handcuffed to another ladder. It's nice seeing the bad guy who's trying to outsmart his opponents actually get to do that, because it doesn't happen as often as it should be, or it's something like, oh no, the dreaded roll-up. But seeing this happen, it was like, yeah, I was very happy to see Sami Zayn, who was slowly turned into Fidel Castro, win a match via shenanigans. Yep, good times.
Yeah.
Then followed Raw Women's Champion Asuka defeated Zelina Vega. Ignoring the fact that Zelina Vega won this title opportunity by defeating Mickie James once on Raw, and then she's number 1 contender. Again, you think there was some sort of epidemic going on. I thought this was a pleasant surprise because it didn't go too long. Zelina Vega got a few cool little bits in and was quickly defeated, but I'm happy with that rather than it going on for like 15 minutes and people are like, we don't care. Just kept it short, kept it sweet, and want more. Yeah, what do you think, Pacitti?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it left me wanting more as such. I thought it was decent, and I agree with the length stuff. It was still sloppy in places. My concern was when this was bumped up from the pre-show to the main card, and then Cesaro and Nakas went down to the pre-show. I was like, obviously the cards had to be messed around with because of COVID. are they going to make this go long? Is this going to go like 20 minutes to eat up more of the main show? And so it was nice to see that they didn't do that, because I don't think Zelina Vega is suited to a match much more lengthy than we saw on Sunday night. Did she impress? She was all right.
Oh, vicious.
Well, do you disagree?
I thought it was. I don't disagree, but I thought that there was a unique factor of seeing her in a pay-per-view singles match, which helped a lot. I was like, oh, this would be interesting. And then she showed off some technical stuff that she could do, and then lost, and then got a bit of heat back afterwards. And I enjoyed it for what it was. I agree. I'm glad it didn't go long, but I found it fine. Yeah.
And Big Lashley defeated Apollo Crews. Again, I see many people who are sick of seeing this combination online of the Hurt Business taking on the mid-card mafia, whatever they're called. I'm all right with it. I'm all right seeing these guys boss each other around, because they do provide lots of action, and I hope they continue to feud until 2023.
Really? Oh, God, I'm the total opposite. Yeah. I'm really sick of seeing Apollo and Lashley fight each other. And then it happened on Raw again. But yeah.
But it looks like Ali might be going for the US, because he got the pin, didn't he? So that's exciting, because Ali and Lashley could do some fun creative stuff.
I thought you said funky there for a sec. They could do some funky stuff.
Funky stuff. That too.
And the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, defeated Andrade and Angel Garza, even though they faced them and beat them loads of times. But the Raw Tag Team division doesn't exist right now, as near the end of this match, Angel Garza appeared to either get kicked or deliver a knee very hard, and was able to physically stand up, tagged, wanted out the ring. The dreaded X was thrown up. The third time in a month on WWE TV, by the way, which, again, I can't tell if is a result of them being more safety conscious because of, people having to go at them for COVID and to throw dirt AEW's way, or it's just bad luck. I don't know. I'm not a professional wrestler. But anyway, Street Profits retained, and next night on Raw, Andrade said, Vega, you suck because you lost, and Angel, you got injured, so you suck as well, so I'm doing this by myself. And they got battered. And then got battered by Keith Lee, yeah. But anyway, that aside, we're getting ahead. Jack, what did you think? You looked like you had something to say.
Tin hats on for a second, lads.
Here we go. I knew he was going to. No. I wasn't going to bring it up. I didn't think you were going to bring it up. Go on.
No, I am going to bring it up. I'd like to preface it by saying, I hope that everybody who's been injured recently is totally fine and they recover quickly. But I have a conspiracy theory, and I'm not saying it's definitely true. I'm just saying that if it came out, I wouldn't be surprised. I think that, not the Ivar one, obviously. I think that was legit, totally. But the Mickie James one, where they stopped the match because the ref thought she was in danger because she was selling too well. And this one, which they reported as an Angel Garza quad injury and then backtracked and went, it's his hip, he'll be fine. I feel like this was deliberate. I just feel like it was a deliberate work. Because Street Profits, right? I know that when a match ends suddenly, you'll see a moment of confusion on the wrestler's face, and then they'll snap into like, yes, I've won! Like, hooray. Street Profits looked angry the whole way. After they'd won, the Street Profits looked confused and like, what's happened there? Until the camera cut, basically. And I just think that it was planned. I just think it was planned. And then after the match, there was a camera cut to Garza being tended to on the floor. I think if that was legit, they wouldn't have had a close-up of him being looked at on the floor either.
That's definitely unusual. No,
am I mental?
Wait, I don't agree with you.
To interrupt, the end bit there where they said they wouldn't have done a shot. They did do for Ivar.
Did they?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, fair enough then. Fair enough.
That's not policy generally, is it? They don't tend to do that if they're... I don't know. I don't think it is personally, and I don't understand when you say that Street Profits looked angry about it. Surely they were just angry because their match had been cut short and it wasn't the intended finish.
But what I'm saying is, when that happens, usually wrestlers, especially ones who care, like unlike someone like Michaels or Orton, who's big enough to act unprofessionally if they want to, but someone at the level of the Street Profits, I feel like you'd see a moment of confusion, like what's happened here. And then they'd kind of snap out of it and react appropriately in kayfabe.
Yeah. They were dancing at ringside after, weren't they? Am I making that up? I'm pretty sure they were. I was doing the live stream at the time.
They looked angry for a long time. in my mind. And I just clearly Maffew doesn't give a crap, so we can just carry on.
Oh no, I'm listening to you. Just
Maffew will do this thing on the podcast, right? Where he goes, Jack, what do you think, pal?
I'm thirsty.
These pictures of the dogs, by the way, weren't even up before the podcast started. This is a new addition. Who are they, Maffew?
Yeah.
No, they're up every week, but they fell down because I had the window open and the guide dogs, the blind, are strong, but not strong enough to have the wind blow them off. And also, I took them off because people on their Twitch wanted to see which one was which, who was what, because they have fun facts in the back. So, what
do they think about Jack's conspiracy theory?
That's all right. We can leave the conspiracy behind now. We can move on.
They went, oh, Jack, it's a bit rough. Me thinks that this is bad. That I might as well talk to
me thinks this is bad.
As opposed to the dogs thinking this. So yeah, me thinks this bad because if it was an angle, so I'm trying to think, but all I hear is Pacitti laughing, so I have to pause because then I'll start laughing.
It's the most Homer Simpson sentence I've ever heard.
Bear me a second. If it was an angle, then WWE, and actually, by the way, I'll preface this to say, I think this was there was going to be something after the match,
right?
To have them split up anyway. Otherwise, there'll be no point having these two wrestle Street Profits yet again. It's just a build up to what they've been doing on TV, and they were going to do something afterwards, but they couldn't do it.
That makes a lot of sense.
So I don't think it was an angle because they would have done something. They would have filmed them afterwards, going, "What? What are you talking? Oh, you tossed me. You kicked your quad out of your quad." Angel Garza or something, and nothing happened. They just go like, all right, cool, cut away from it, and then moved on.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
I'm surprised you'd think something like that. That sounds something that somebody from fishermansuplex.net would say.
It's just because it was similar to the Mickie James one, and it's all happened in the wake of the Matt Hardy thing.
Yeah. Angelo looked genuinely shocked when that finish happened. I thought anyway, he looked like, oh, what the hell happened there?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me massively, but at the same time, if that ever got out, If like one of the I don't know, Street Profits or Angel was released, or God forbid, Andrade or whatever, and then they went on to say something like that in an interview, the look for WWE would be damaging.
It'd be catastrophic. Well, not catastrophic compared to various other things they've done.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
Anyway, we'll move on from this bizarre conversation.
Yeah, sorry, I'm so sidetracked.
No, it's fine. You can say your opinions. You're
Every
YouTuber.
dog has its day.
Bayley, unable to wrestle Nikki Cross, wrestled Asuka for a bit instead until Sasha Banks showed up and attacked Bayley, which I think was going to happen in the match against Nikki Cross anyway. Wasn't much of a title match. It was just there to build hype for Sasha Banks. Yeah. No issues here. Anything to be said? Anything to add?
No, I sort of thought, Asuka doing double duty, and she's been the workhorse as well, or one of the workhorses of the lockdown era of WWE. I thought, oh man, are we going to get like bloody 20 minutes of these two? I'm up for that. But no, it was always going to be an angle, as you say, and it was still an angle.
Drew McIntyre definitively and ultimately decimated Randy Orton with help from all the legends that Randy Orton has run ragged on these past few months to completely, definitively, negatively end this feud. And we're never going to get Orton versus Drew McIntyre again. What did you think, Jack?
I just thought it was weird that, obviously what everyone was saying, it's weird that Orton had to overcome the odds and be the brave babyface, getting attacked from all angles, and then Drew just won. But I thought they explained it quite well on Raw the next night, so I'll wait until we talk about Raw, I suppose.
Yeah, it did. I actually thought the match itself was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching the match, but yeah, at the time it was like, oh, so Drew needs the help out of these bloody 3 old knackers to sort him out, does he? But yeah, you're right. In Raw, they were like, oh yeah, Drew didn't know anything about it, and Drew was like, you cheeky scam. So yeah, it was all right.
And then the main event, and what a main event it was. Universal Champion Roman Reigns defeating Jey Uso. And he didn't just destroy him. He didn't just decimate him. Topless Roman Reigns with the flower ring. Absolutely just pound the piss out of Jey Uso. Including something I haven't seen before in any of the matches, I don't think. Jey got a pinfall attempt on Roman. 1, 2, and he didn't kick out of it. he put his shoulder up and low blowed him at the same time with such force that Jey Uso leapt up in the air. I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, I've not seen that before.
I'm very happy with that.
I didn't catch it at the time. I thought, that was a big strong kick out, and then the commentary told me. But yeah, it was such a great match. Just that I put on Twitter, and it wasn't just. I genuinely mean it. Basically, is that I think it's some of the best storytelling within a match and the build up to it since Bryan. Maybe it's so good. Or it's just WWE getting it right, but not just right, perfect. There was nothing to change there, was there?
Yeah.
Just him beating up his family member for 25 minutes, yelling at him the entire time. Oh, you're the head of the table. You're tribal chief. I'm gonna beat you up like you're a kid. Getting his head and going,
so
yeah.
And I wasn't sure if Roman.
Some
people can do trash talk and some can't. The ones that spring to mind that are good at it, in my opinion at least, are like Drew and Samoa Joe. Roman is great at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really great. It was never awkward. It felt real.
Who's bad at it? Natalia.
yeah. Natalia.
Charlotte. Charlotte, let me explain the plot of the match. You thought you could beat me for the WWE Women's title at the WWE Super Show this Sunday? That sounds natural.
It was one of the big sad endings that I can remember recently as well to a pay-per-view, but in a good way, in the right way. Mm-hmm. Topes lose. It was that sort of
Topes lose. Nice. Yeah. But yeah, fantastic. All hail topless Roman, your new god. And moving on to Monday Night Raw. Randy Orton gave a WWE.com descriptions are back. Randy Orton gave a warning to Drew McIntyre, Shawn Michaels, Rick Flair. Monday Night Raw kicked off with the WWE champion, the Highlander hero, Drew McIntyre, as well as Shawn Michaels, who were all smiles after Legends returned to give Randy Orton a taste of his own medicine, helping McIntyre retain the WWE title. I already said this. But Orton interrupted to remind them that anyone who crosses the Legend Killer would have a price to pay before leaving the arena. Drew issued an open challenge to anyone brave enough to take him on in a wrestling match for the gold title. And it had to be someone who hadn't faced him for the gold title before.
I was pleasantly surprised by this because obviously when a wrestler leaves the arena, they come back at the end. And Randy Orton did that, but I was expecting him just to slide in and hit an RKO out of nowhere. I was pleasantly surprised by the nonsense that we got.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say what I was going to say about... So I thought they explained it quite well, why all the legends got involved and Drew didn't feel bad about it. He said, well, I've already proven I can beat Orton in it's like a standard wrestling match at SummerSlam, and then it got so personal that I didn't really care that other people were getting involved. Good. Mm-hmm. And then he said, in fact, I hope he gets attacked in the streets.
Go to London.
Yeah. Or biker.
I also liked and didn't like at the same time Randy Orton's line of, what, you can't think I can't get a world title? I'm Randy Orton. Yeah. I get all the world title shots I like. I'm like, it is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the Hell in a Cell match as the blow-off? Do you think it needs it?
No.
But at the same time, I don't want that story to end, even if Drew didn't know about them coming out. I didn't want it to end with Drew getting all the help to finish that feud. And if you think of Raw feuds, what else would you put in the Cell there? We've got Hell in a Cell. There's going to be 2 Hell in a Cell matches minimum. So I guess that is the one that should go in there.
Yeah,
some sort of fall. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say I can't think of another one on Raw.
Unless they did something Retribution and Hurt.
T-Bar and Maffew.
T-Bar, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, we'll have to... Me and my pal from CageMatch.net from WXW will have the final finale.
You've got a rival, haven't you? Yeah. You
Trigger.
Blindfolding... What? Like from Only Fools?
Yeah, him.
Okay.
Yeah, the bell rings, he goes, all right, Dave. And he super kicks me. Anyway, moving on from silly bollocks. I would say Hell in a Cell... I don't want to see Orton versus Drew. I am going to be naive and trusting and say that this is just the build-up to something that isn't going to be Orton versus Drew at Hell in a Cell.
Oh.
No.
I know, right? But you got to hope.
Way. Yeah.
Got to have some hope. So I think they're going to do, if they are going to do it, it's going to be a 4-way or 3-way involving who are the main eventers.
Keith Lee, maybe?
Keith Lee, Bobby Roode, Robert Roode to his friends. I don't know. Get that in a minute. But yeah, it's done. It's done. I'm all right with the Legends beating up Randy because he attacked them. It's like, it's an ambulance match. Well, you get some. I'm all right with it. People say it makes Drew look weak. He's already beaten him. It's fine.
Yeah, fair.
But anyway, we'll move on from arguing like children. Asuka defeated Zelina Vega in the rematch, again, because there's not much else to do in the Raw women's division at the minute. And this brought out Andrade to go, you're useless. You lost again. Still feeling the effects of the devastating Asuka lock, and Andrade gloated, declaring that both Vega and Angel Garza were weak links in the chain that is his life, holding him back from achieving his full potential before daring anyone to face him. Keith then beat him quickly and clean. No idea why they did this.
I felt bad for Andrade, but I guess you've got to get Keith back in the spotlight a little bit after he got kind of shoved aside a little bit.
Yeah, but that was it should have been a pretty defining moment for Andrade, breaking away properly, solidifying. It's not a heel turn, is it?
I've given it the wrong grade then. I've given it the wrong grade on graded because I didn't think about that.
It just seemed like for him to make a big statement, to make a big statement and then get essentially squashed because it didn't go on for long. I thought it was the wrong time to do that. They could have done that with Keith and someone else, I think.
Yeah, true.
But I guess maybe that shows you what they think of Andrade. Maybe they don't care, which is a shame because I quite like him.
It's good we can get some news videos saying, breaking news, Vince McMahon hates Andrade. So,
hates everyone.
Yes, he does. He doesn't hate Drew Gulak, who showed up.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. He absolutely does.
He's just re-signed him as well. Poor bastard.
Bye, Jack. He's just signed... God, that was quick coming back. It's a new record.
I'm back.
Yay!
Wow.
Better than ever. R-Truth mourned the loss of Akira Tozawa, who was eaten by a shark, like Sam Jackson and Deep Blue Sea. Only to say that. Actually, he was not really dead. He got better. And then Drew Gulak showed up, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this later became a triple threat match later on, which Truth won. But Drew Gulak is now on Raw.
So,
Yay.
Yeah. So one bit that I did really like, though, was when Drew Gulak won the belt at a Clash of Champions. Because he was doing lunges behind. The lunges were really funny. Mm-hmm. I found the lunges good. But this 24/7 stuff, I don't know what to think of it because part of me loves it because it's so bad, but part of me thinks it could be a lot better or just get rid of it.
It's always annoying when the people that you want to see in wrestling matches end up in it. I don't mind the silly bollocks, but choose your participants wiser than Drew Gulak.
Yeah,
and Akira has shown pretty decent comedy chops, hasn't he?
Brilliant. He could be fantastic, but yeah.
Hey,
I think it's a shame.
Let's not forget this is former CZW World Heavyweight Champion Drew Gulak. R-Truth could be expecting silly bollocks. Mm-hmm. And it's going to go to the ring and he's going, "Are you CZW?" And then he's going to go, "No, barbed wire."
Oh yeah, that'll be there you go.
I like Truth winning with the attitude adjustment. Mm-hmm. I like him doing Cena stuff.
His childhood hero, He grew up watching John Cena.
That is funny. That is funny. He says with a completely straight face, not even smiling.
It's funny until the commentators go, "But wait a minute, they're actually the same." Like, shut up, you idiot. Like, what was it? Me and Tom on the SmackDown Cultaholic Podcast. This is an advert. We were watching the APA do their thing, and the APA, for people who don't remember, had their office in the back that was a door, a door frame. And people like Crash Hollywood come in to get assistance. And sometimes they'd walk around. They go, hey, go in through the door. Yeah. Go, all right, sorry. And they go in. And he goes, hey, I need to speak to you. He goes, come in and close the door. He goes, all right, shut the door. And then they go in. The commentators don't jump on it and go, King, look, it's just a door frame. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. I'm ranting. Moving on to Raw. Seth Rollins revealed, oh, Christ. You know what? I'll go with the APA. Seth Rollins revealed Alia Mysterio and Murphy's secret DMs. Alia said that her encounter with Murphy last Monday was not welcomed and that she doesn't even like guys, especially Murphy, because he's totally not her type, and that she questioned why anyone would willingly associate themselves with Rollins. The Rollins had evidence that all of this was not as it seemed. The Monday Night Messiah revealed private DMs between Alia and his disciple, including Alia wishing Murphy a happy birthday. The daughter of Rey Mysterio, El Hijo del Mysterio, then insisted that Murphy wasn't like Rollins, to the dismay of her family, then stormed off. Everybody looked upset. Look, just saying, but after all the stuff that happened this summer, and all the stuff that's still ongoing with certain wrestlers who are pretty litigious, so I'll not say anything about them, to do an angle with this about a wrestler messaging a teenager in the ring with Jerry the King Lawler is one of the most tone-deaf, get it up your segments I've seen in wrestling for quite some time. Yeah. So, Jack, you say something about it.
If it wasn't for all of those things, which are very valid, then I'd find it entertaining in a car crash sort of way. If it wasn't for those things, but it was incredibly tone deaf. It really was. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah. Soap opera stuff in wrestling, I love it. But yeah, the timing of this is unbelievable. I hadn't even thought about the Jerry Lawler thing.
It's when Rollins is backstage and he's like, Murphy, why do you look so down? The King's Court is up next. And I was like, the King's Court? How regularly does Jerry have the King's Court these days? Is it not like the VIP lounge with MVP or one of the Kevin Owens show? Lawler's King's Court doesn't...
No, it's not often, is it? But they I don't know. I think they hyped it up beforehand on like their social media and that, and obviously they think that's a sell. I don't know. I guess a lot of people who aren't the more casual fans who aren't as aware of what's gone on in the wrestling industry as a whole might not see as much of a problem with it, and there's obviously an audience that likes the soap opera stuff. The Mysterios. All of them, and obviously Ray's a legend. Dominic's great. I don't know much about the other two. The hammiest acting you've ever seen. Like Rollins saved this from an acting standpoint because he's really good. He's really sniveling and horrible, isn't he? But the rest of them, they do that. Yeah, that GCSE drama voice that Jeff Hardy does my head in.
When Seth Rollins is the best actor of the set, it's time to move on.
Seth's a good actor. It's just the material he's been given when he's a good guy.
Murphy, my disciple, I went through your phone.
No. It's so Gruntilda, like your impression of Foley.
I am the Monday Night Messiah.
Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke defeated Natalia and Lana.
Stop.
What a good episode of Raw this was.
Right.
Go on.
So everything's right in the world again because SmackDown's good and Raw's the bad one. And I just feel like the stars have aligned again. Everyone's chakras are balanced because things are as they should be. Raw is bad and SmackDown's the good one again.
Yeah, I like we're totally not punishing Lana because her husband has left for AEW by having Lana getting squashed every single week since Miro showed up on Dynamite. I'm genuinely surprised at Clash of the Champions they didn't just have, right, we can't have the women's tag match, and Lana just come to the ring and put herself through a table and they moved on to the next segment.
They said, we want the champions to be stripped of their titles and award them to us because we are celebrities. And Adam Pearce came out and went, what? It's very lazy writing, I think.
Yes, lazy tag team pairing as well. I thought they would. Oh, there must have been a reason. No, not well. I guess with Lana and Natalia too. But I just thought like Mandy was coming over and they had plans for it, not to just team her with Dana Brooke. What? What? Why? I guess they were sort of. Did they have backstage segments together before?
Yeah, but they did this week and said, "I admire you. You get knocked down, you get back up." They're both Chumbawamba fans.
Yeah. Right, Kevin Owens defeated Aleister Black via DQ. Aleister Black now has two eyes, so he can see the losses coming from even further away now. Fantastic, mate. Some good action here, but it was just filler.
Oh, the DQ. They talk about the finish.
Why don't you talk about the finish?
You've forgotten the finish, haven't you?
Aleister Black got DQ'd.
Yes.
Because he didn't hear the referee.
He elbowed him by accident in the gut.
Accidentally.
And it was meant to be accidental.
He's trying to start a chainsaw in the corner. I didn't see him, yeah.
He looked and he was like, oh, and then elbowed him, so it didn't really work. And also people point out, that's what's he called, Drake? Is it Drake Wirtz?
Wirtz, yeah.
Yeah.
Drake Younger.
Drake, CZW guy. Yeah. And they're saying that he's got a little elbow to the belly and he's gone, oh, stop the match. Stop it right now. But yeah, I thought it made them both look a bit bad.
It was clearly an accident. Well, it didn't play out like an accident because it was a bit flubbed. But
it was meant to be.
Yeah, the referee was just like, oh, the referee's a bit of a dick there for doing that. He didn't mean to hit you, mate. No.
That's about should have turned around, then hit him, and then gone, what, accident? Murphy defeated Dominic Mysterio. Mysterio went under the ring to grab a canny kendo stick, which brought his sister, Alia, to ringside. She begged Dominic not to batter Murphy with it, insisting he wasn't like Seth Rollins. The distraction gave Murphy the opening to roll up Dominic for the 3 count and escape before he could take too many kendo stick lashes. Dominic Mysterio finally really properly a wrestler in WWE because he lost to the deadliest move in all of wrestling, the roll-up.
Yes.
I imagine Murphy went, "Welcome to the business, kid," as he went for the 3 count as well. Any other comments on this Hollyoaks stuff?
Aaliyah slapped Dominic and stormed off, which can only mean one thing. It's going to be Dominic versus Aaliyah at Hell in a Cell.
Mustafa Ali, Apollo Crews and Ricochet defeated the Hurt Business. Good action, good bumping. Mustafa Ali winning a match. Bloody hell.
Love it.
And then we get the tease of Dolph Ziggler coming out to challenge Drew McIntyre and Drew going, whoa, whoa, whoa. You've had the title shots before. And he went, yeah, I know. Robert Roode. And to show how much attention...
It was the Zelda noise when you open the chest.
And to show how much attention I've been paying to Mr. Roode, not just this year, but last, I went and asked some people, he's Robert Roode now. And they really emphasised the fact that he's Robert rather than Bobby. That's interesting. Is that a new thing? And people had to go, he's been doing that since 2019, mate. Sorry for not paying attention to you, mate. But weirdly enough, with the issues of CFO $ being very public, I was very surprised, obviously, as the Black and his song changed, that they've kept Glorious.
It'll change soon. I reckon it'll change soon, even if not because of James Storm coming in, and maybe they will tag them together. Maybe I'm just being wishful thinking there.
Maybe.
But I think just because it was a return, it would have been weird to have him come out to anything else, a new bit, because I almost said you wouldn't get the pop, but there's no bastard there. But you know what I mean.
I popped.
Yeah, I liked it. And you know what? I actually think it was probably his best match on the main roster. I really enjoyed it as a main event.
Yeah, it was good.
And there's been no notes here, which is a shame, for the closing segment. Randy Orton, disguised as a simple janitor who, a few minutes earlier, the Hurt Business have walked past and threw some rubbish down. Hey, pick that up, old man.
It's like Kaiser Soze.
It's exactly what it is, yeah. Look at that inauspicious old man. What a bum, eh? Yeah.
Wait, it's all come full circle because bloody Cedric was Gary Garbutt.
Yes.
Oh. Wow, what a throwback.
Wow.
So, this little old man goes and hangs out with the other old men playing cards backstage and puts on night vision glasses. What's this light switch, Jeff? You hear, and then you come back and they're all dead. And he takes them off, and then he leaves, puts the skies back on, and then, the security and police ambulance arrive, and he just goes, "Through there, boys." leaves like the end of Silence of the Lambs, just going at the crowd, like, ha, ha, ha. I mean, I have no interest in seeing Orton versus Drew McIntyre again, but this segment was so ridiculous and stupid, I loved it.
Orton, fair play to Orton, because he really made the most of it. It was very good, his performance. But I don't know why none of them sold verbally with their mouths, because you just heard the chair clanging about all over the place. But
they all had their phones on the table. They could have literally just picked it up and sort of gone like that. Even if you can't get the torch on in time, they could have just shined the phone a little bit. I guess it wouldn't make much difference.
The terror.
Oh, yeah. Those glasses, I don't know, obviously, I don't know anything about night vision goggles, but I've watched Silence of the Lambs, and the ones that Matey has in that, Buffalo Bill, that he has in that, they're big, and they look cool and expensive. The ones that Orton look sort of like more like ski goggles. Did they come up with that last minute and just sent somebody down to Alpine Superstore or something?
I hope so.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
Maybe not. It's like saying that name. That's
I don't
a good
know.
question.
Somebody will correct me.
If I want to go, I'm on Amazon right now. Can you just buy night vision goggles, like proper ones?
Don't know.
Let's have a look.
I assume so.
While you do, am I all right? I'm being very unprofessional. Can I run for a wee-wee?
Yeah,
go on,
tell us how nice it feels as well. Isn't it a lovely
because I've really
feeling?
needed one for ages. Yeah, I will do.
I've never had pleasure having a massive wee unless I've had to wait for ages. But a massive poo.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Let's not get into
the debate.
Can you buy them on Amazon, Maffew?
You can. None of them really look like the Splinter Cell ones. They all look like cool military ones.
I'm thinking of the ones that are like zzz, they come down and they're cool. And
yeah.
Do they look like Randy Orton's ones on Raw?
Let me go price high to low.
Good thinking.
Oh, they're about $5,000 if you want the. Oh yeah, no, there's the what? Yeah, no, they're expensive, so that's why they went and got,
the naff ones,
the Vision Killer. Whatever.
What did you think? You enjoyed it for what it was because it was so silly.
Because it was memeable. I think that's a word. Yes, been many Splinter Cell images. I did a thing where he did the Raging Demon from Street Fighter. That's a nerdy game references you understand. I'm sorry, but people will, and they will message me to let me know that they did get it. That's the appeal of me on the show. But yeah, that's fine. It does mean we get more Orton Drew, and I'm like, I'm done. But knowing how the rest of Raw has been, this will be crap. Next week will be crap. Next week will be crap, and then Hell in a Cell will be great.
Yeah, it has been that way. They've knocked it out of the park with these pay-per-views. I think it's been a really strong year for pay-per-views, especially given the circumstances and the fact that the roster, they're dropping like flies and having to take weeks off here and there. They've done their very best with what they have available to them, for sure. I kind of wish that they'd gone full ham with it and we got like the pay-per-view shots. Sorry, no, not the pay-per-view, the first-person view shots from Silence of the Lambs. You know when she's like... all that stuff. I wish we'd seen some of that as well.
Is it all right if I sit like that? I've realised I can sit back here.
That's what I was like. Are you going to do that?
I might just...
It's better with it on the table because you're not moving about.
Yeah, I might just do this. How did I not think of this earlier?
The audio sounds the same to me.
Well, the mic's still... Yeah. Oh, how many months in? How many months in has it been?
You're a lot smaller than...
That's okay.
Everybody. Okay.
Yeah, big. That's talking to your mum on Zoom pose.
Are you eating well?
Give my regards to the lads.
Give my regards to the lads. Is your mum a Lannister?
Anyway, AEW Dynamite. Darby Allin versus Ricky Starks. Great match. Darby wins with a coffin drop to Starks' injured back. Brian Cage tried to interfere, but Will Hobbs stopped him. Yeah, could keep this feud going between these four lads. And more.
It's all good stuff, isn't it?
Everything else. Yeah.
A lot of people, because I live streamed it last night, and a lot of people in the chat saying like they see Ricky Starks out of all of those as a future AEW World Champion. I'm not sure I see it yet. I like him.
He's very good.
Yeah.
I wanted him to win this match because I thought that he could use it more than Darby, but obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah. Still a good match. Good way to kick the show off.
Well said. I agree. He is sex on legs. Cody addresses Mr. Brody Lee.
So is Darby Allin, let's be fair.
Oh, absolutely, of course, yes.
Yeah.
You're not good. I don't see the appeal. Not my type.
Not mine either, but they're both little handsome boys. That sounded so creepy.
Brilliant.
Little in terms of physically short, physically.
Yeah, young looking. No.
Cody addresses Mr. Brody Lee. It just says here on the right, and I've got it. Cody went on for ages, but accepted the dog collar match challenge.
Oh,
wow!
I wrote these ones because there's nothing to copy and paste on this, so I just wrote the. I've seen a lot of praise for the Cody promo. I just thought it was a bit long-winded. It all made sense and everything. It was very, very Cody.
Cody's that talented kid at school who can do the homework last minute and blag it. The promos I've noticed, he throws a lot of ideas in, and they don't really fit together, but he makes them fit together anyway because he's that good. And he didn't need to mention the handshake stuff. He just liked doing that because it was cool. Mm-hmm. And various different things, but it all works so well because he's just good. So I still enjoyed it, even if it was a bit all over the place.
Yeah, I loved the.
I found his entrance very long though. He's got about 3 intros now.
The reveal that he was going to do the match where he goes, my answer is no. And then he walks up the ramp. It lasted what felt like years for him to get back down there and go, actually, yeah, I will do it. That's all right. All right, Cody. That's drama.
Come back. No. Survivors.
No regrets. It was no regrets, wasn't it? Big shout out to WCPW.
No mercy.
He was in that. That was when you and Cody were in the same match at No Regrets.
Yes, yeah. That was a shout out to me. It was,
yeah. I wonder how good TNT are with blood because I'm guessing it'll be a bloody match if Cody can get away with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I hope so.
Yeah.
AEW Tag Team Championship match. SCU versus FTR with Tully in the 20-minute Brush with Greatness match, I believe. It's not written down here, but I think it says. Yes. Another good match. Daniels gets ejected early on, but Tully sticks around to help FTR pick up the win. And it does tease that it's going to go 20 minutes, but they don't. Instead, Tully does the WrestleMania 5 finish with Warrior and Rude, where Heenan grabbed Rude's leg and then Warrior fell on top of him and he held him down. And then the referee goes, hey, look. And then Tully goes, hands behind the mat. Yeah.
There was something in this match that I've never seen before as well, which was Wheeler faking, like an Eddie Guerrero fake, I've been hit with the chair, but it was instead, he hit the ropes, pretended that Daniels had tripped him on the outside, but he hadn't. And Daniels got ejected because of that. I thought that was absolutely genius.
Yeah. But the ref should have ejected Tully later, because didn't he catch him being a little toe rag? I'm sure the ref saw him before the finish, I mean. I can't remember what it is, what it was now, but the referee, I'm sure he saw him do something. I thought, after you've ejected Daniels.
He should have done,
Go too, yeah. Scamp. It was a good match, though. Very good match.
I do like their tag style.
Yeah.
Cassidy took on Chris Jericho. Great showing for Cassidy. He tried winning with a code breaker and hit a lion salt, but couldn't put Jericho away.
I should point out Isaiah Cassidy, not Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I thought I'm going to butcher Isaiah, so I just left it out. But yeah, there's another wrestler on the roster called Cassidy.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
One's with a K and one's with a C.
Cassidy with a K lost to Jericho. Couldn't put Jericho away despite his best attempt at putting him away, and obviously wants revenge for maybe attacking Matt Hardy. Jericho never said he did do it, but there we go. Jericho wins with a Judas effect off a springboard. Very tasty.
Beautiful. This
then sets up Jericho starting it with Luther and Serpentico. Why the hell is that? Oh, I know, because it's Jericho's 30th anniversary since he started wrestling next week. So he might as well wrestle his friend, who's the only reason that guy's employed.
Do you put him over as well?
If he loses to him.
I'd love it. I'd love it so much.
Yeah.
It's like, he's a legend of Japan. Honest. And people who watch that type of stuff in Japan say, he wasn't. He's never won.
Well, apparently people were really excited to have him there. Like some of the wrestlers who, I guess, grew up watching him back in the 40s. Really, they were very happy that he had signed and everything. But you know what? Those stories work with Dustin Rhodes, for example, because we all know he's had a long and storied career. Who the hell is Luther? Who's Dr. Luther? I'd heard of him before, and I'm not a big Japanese wrestling fan, obviously. I'm sure he will appeal to some people. I just don't know who those people are.
It's like if Cultaholic had Timmy Mallet on, and you'd be buzzing at first, but she would absolutely be delighted. But then after a week or two, you'd be like, Timmy's a bit annoying, isn't he? And be like, yeah, well, mate, he is. You brought him in.
That's a good shout.
Timmy Mallet.
Yeah.
Oh no, you actually are going to try and get Timmy Mallet.
You can probably get him now.
Yeah, probably.
What's he doing?
If we get Timmy Mallet before we get Craig Charles, I'm going to be devastated. Charles
will be a lot more expensive than Mallet. Start small, work your way to double C.
Right.
So yeah, after Tully Blanchard said that he grew up watching Luther and he was happy to see his match next week, moved on to Orange Cassidy versus 10. Cassidy wins. It was fine. Yeah, got some good notes. I agree with that.
Well, it just felt like filler, didn't it?
And then, I can't go without mentioning this. And this is speaking of niche things and Timmy Mallet. All right. So Miro's somewhere, some arcade in America with Kip Sabian, and Kip Sabian's got his crop top and he's all sexy and cute and all this stuff. And then Miro's like, damn it, the bachelor party and stuff and exposition. Of all the people to show up and make a cameo, an American wrestling program in the year of our Lord 2020, Billy Mitchell appears. And Billy Mitchell is very distinctive looking because currently I've got his hairstyle right now.
What did you say, Jack? Did you just go, what did you say?
He's not aged.
I thought you said, doesn't matter. I thought you said
something
very
terrible?
Different. Yeah, I thought you said he's got AIDS. I was like, and everybody just skirted over it. I was like, what? So just to clarify for the listeners, in case they made the same mistake that I did there. Carry on. I was surprised to see him as well. It took me a few 30 seconds to figure out who he was. So I watched the King of Kong.
I'll go through the X in the air. Look, he's very litigious. He does not have AIDS. We did not imply that he has AIDS. He's and
he's a great
famously
guy.
No, well, maybe.
No, I'm saying that so we don't get sued.
Yeah.
No. It's a fact he's a good guy.
Yeah.
It's also a fact that Twin Galaxies, the leading company, I don't know what the hell they are, organization, that's what I want. Organization that writes down who has the high record for arcade games and console games and that, where he was famously on top for years and decades, in fact, famously took his records off because he was unable to prove that it wasn't emulated and therefore in breach of the policy. And he has since tried to take anybody who brings this up in a YouTube video to court. Just saying.
So we'll move on from him, but you're really good, handsome man who doesn't have A's.
What are you doing here? Like, is a wrestling company so obsessed with people? Anybody who is not from the world of wrestling, who has some popularity, that will dare to appear in a grungy wrestling show, that will just give anybody some clout.
This was clearly like Omega or Sabian's idea. One of the gamer lads in AEW.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hey, it's that guy who has a really bad reputation that's getting on the show. What a win. So, King of Kong was a good film, though, I agree.
Yeah.
Then Britt Baker ate some red velvet. God, I love red velvet cake, by the way. Can we talk about how good red velvet is?
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Carrot cake's better.
Carrot cake's very nice.
The icing on carrot cake, I can't remember what it's called, but that stuff is delicious.
I like a classic Victoria sponge, bit of jam.
Yeah,
bit of jam. None of this foreign cake.
Oh, Christ.
Give me a Victoria sponge. There we go.
None of this AIDS cake.
No, what? No.
That's what it sounded like you said. I just want to clarify that's not, you did not say that. You did not say that you liked AIDS cake, for the record.
Also, can we even say that word without the video being demonetized?
AIDS, yeah, AIDS is fine.
Okay, fine, all right.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
We could say COVID, but we can't say AIDS.
We'll
say
find
Ebola.
out. No, you can say AIDS.
Okay.
I don't know if...
Don't want to anymore. Let's move on again.
Stop talking. Jack, will you stop bringing up AIDS, for God's sake? Then John Moxley took on someone who was picked by Eddie Kingston. And I like the reveal of this because Eddie Kingston's at ringside going, you stuck, you smell. I did not tap out or submit or give any indication that I was exiting my match last week to Bryce Remsburg, who, if you shut your eyes, sounds exactly like Brian Alvarez, just saying. And while John Moxley's looking at him going, and he's like, look at me. The Butcher shows up topless, but wearing the apron. Is this the Butcher's apron they call it? Is that Pacific? Whatever.
Yeah.
Butcher's apron. Yeah. And just looking, unique.
Yeah.
Just the visuals he has, I can't think of anybody else from wrestling that has that same vibe and look than him. So it was awesome seeing him come out. I was like, it's the Butcher. And he's got his gown on. He's all suited and booted. He's ready for this match. You can tell that's the equivalent to Ric Flair's robe. He's really ready for this title match. And we got a nice match with Butcher showing off his submission skills, but he wasn't able to put him away. And yeah.
It was really good, wasn't it? Because normally with the stuff like that, they hype a mystery opponent. I'm again going back to the chat from last night on the live stream. Everybody was like, Pac. It's going to be Pac. It's going to be a debut. Oh, could it be Miro maybe? And then Butcher. Nobody was disappointed, and I certainly wasn't. It was just good to see him in that position.
Yeah, same. I thought it was going to be Penta because of his tweet before the show. He tweeted a big poster of himself and Moxley, and I was like, maybe we'll get that in the future. I suppose. I guess we will, actually.
Mm.
Yeah. Now on to NXT, that other show.
Oh, no,
Shotzi Blackheart defeated Dakota Kai. Shotzi Blackheart has some sort of magnet in her head that is automatically attracted to the floor because she took a horrible back suplex on the apron. And she's always doing stuff like this that hurts herself. She must like it. But she ended up being all right enough to continue the match. I'm sure Jack thinks that was fake. But
No. All right, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch aren't even together.
Yeah, I still don't believe they are. Everything is fake.
Okay.
Then Cameron Grimes and Rich Holland fought to a stoppage in the Cameron Grimes Invitational Stepping Stones to the Moon match. It's pretty alright. And also, special mention to Ariel Dominguez. I'm not going to get that right, am I? For showing up. That's the MLW dude. I cared a lot. Anyway, he was referred to as Joey Pistachio, even though he turned around and his actual name was on the back of his thing. And unfortunately for Joey, he was met by a lightning quick cave-in as soon as he entered the ring to taste defeat. Then Ridge Holland threw a wrench into Grimes' plans answering the call next and pulling the technical savage until the referee was forced to stop the action. Yeah, Ridge looked good.
Yeah. I like Cameron Grimes now. Didn't get him at first. But he's just a good character. A good character.
I like how his matches are short. It's great. It doesn't mean means you've not got to watch a lot of wrestling to understand what he's about.
And Kushida defeated Tony Nese. And NXT's resident time splitter forced Nese to submit to the hoverboard lock before being greeted by a video message from Velveteen Dream, who promised that the lights would be too bright for Kushida during their match at NXT TakeOver 31.
The problem is that Velveteen Dream's probably going to win as well.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I predicted him to win.
Really? Triple H said in that conference call, which is why I've gone for Kushida.
Oh.
He said in the conference call, like, you're about to see like the best from Kushida. He's had a rough old time of it, sort of thing. And so he's gonna do his thing. He's got to beat Dream.
Imagine if it lasts 2 minutes and Dream destroys it. The best of Kushida.
Adam Cole defeated Austin Theory. And it says, really nice match between the two. Felt like Adam Cole was being presented as a babyface last night, along with Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, that video package that they put together for Kyle O'Reilly, just once again, WWE's production people doing a grand job. It's don't get me wrong, he doesn't really feel like much of a threat, if we're honest, but the story that they're telling is a very human one, and I want to see the match even if I know he's going to lose. I think they've done a really, really great job.
I've not been invested in the winner of a match this much for so long. I don't think you will either, but I really want O'Reilly to win.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? I hope maybe we'll get that down the line. Maybe he loses here and then it goes all the way to whenever.
Maybe. Yeah. Also, I just want to point on the conference call as well, Triple H said that NXT's or TakeOver 31's going to visually, it's going to look different, and I can't work out what that means. I'm quite interested to learn.
I have seen the rumours.
Oh, go on.
Well, what month is it happening in? October. What did they bring back last
Halloween
time?
Havoc.
It's gonna be themed around my birthday, right.
It's this Sunday. They can't do Halloween Havoc on bloody what is it, like the 4th or something.
They certainly can. Halloween Havoc never happened on Halloween.
But they can.
Yeah, but the 4th? Yeah, whatever.
Well, no one's going out for proper Halloween, are they? They might as well.
They would have been hammering that home. If they were doing Halloween Havoc, they wouldn't do it as a surprise on the night. They might do it as a weekly.
Slim Jim.
They can't have me theme. They
you
can't
theme
do that.
Jack the Jobber. Oh, because my birthday.
Have me theme.
It's near enough to my birthday, which is the 1st. So yeah,
it's closer than I agree. Yeah. What would a Jack the Jobber themed pay per view look like?
Hats and insecurity.
Fair.
Here come the skinny little boys.
What? What are you on? What are you?
That's what you called Darby.
Oh right, I thought you were sorry. Sorry, I thought you
forgot.
Thought you were calling me.
You got up. You were like, what did you say to me? Look at me, look big at the camera. He was starting on a camera, Jack.
I thought you were calling me
making yourself look big, like a cornered cat.
No, I thought he was calling me a skinny little boy.
Oh, that's way worse than being called a.
Anyway.
Main event of NXT was. Oh no, they had the handshake stuff with Finn
the
first,
handshake,
didn't
if that
they?
counts. Yes, Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor have a meeting. A friendly handshake. Both men showed respect to one another. Balor says he knows how good O'Reilly is, putting him over as a legitimate threat. Kyle said he's going to do it on his own, and he doesn't need his mates to help. The segment ended without violence. Which makes sense, because it's the first time he's had a title shot. It's only Kyle O'Reilly's 5th singles match since he joined WWE.
No way.
Yeah, but he's always been tagging on Undisputed Era.
Of course,
so it would make sense if he, it wouldn't make any sense, I should say, if he started like throwing bombs at Finn Balor. They're going to go this route with him. So, And then you're right, the main event, Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, they call themselves the Garganos, defeated Io Shirai and Damian Priest in a mixed tag team match. I didn't see it, but I'm sure there was a lot of selling by Gargano, and which allowed him to spike the Archer of Infamy with a decisive one final beat DDT.
And then they celebrated with the belts on them.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Nah, you're not allowed to do that. Have you gone for them to...
I've gone for Candice, but not for Johnny.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. I just, it makes me think like with the one of the closing images there being
Bye,
like...
Jack. Go be big somewhere else.
with the closing image being them holding both of the belts, and Triple H knows that that's a wrestling trope. If they do that on the go home, that they're not going to win the belts. I think he might swerve us a little bit, but couldn't work it out. I think I'd like to see Candice win.
I thought Candice was going to win until, and it's very sad news, Knox got injured again. Because I thought it would lead to Candice versus Knox, and then Tegan would be the big babyface champion.
Yeah.
But that's obviously not happening now. That's really sad, that.
No, she's so... what is that, 3 in 3 years?
3 big ones, yeah, I think so, yeah.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, you said it all there. That has been The Week in Wrestling.
Good.
Let's have a rummage in our mailbags.
And now it's time to have a look in the mailbag. Hi, guys. Yeah, you get comfortable, Jack.
It's gone all David Brent here. What's this? I hate this. I hate this so much. What are you doing?
I was trying to dive into an imaginary mailbag, but
oh,
it was
right.
really
I thought
difficult.
you were repositioning yourself.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Just want to say thank you so much for everything yous have done the last couple of months. Kept me going in the right headspace. Thank you. Same to you, Pat.
Cheers, yeah.
So my question. I went to my first ever WWE live event in Liverpool in 2015, and I went with a friend from sixth form. We went and I was loving it, getting involved with everything. 9 years old, cheering like mad, getting involved with the chants, even Lucha, Lucha for the Lucha Dragons, and that's saying something in brackets. They were crap, but I just wanted to be involved. They're all right. My mate that I went with just spent the whole show just watching and clapping, so I thought I was just being a child, but I had been to other shows since and people were worse than me. Not many like. I was wondering if you have been to any sort of show and either made a fool of yourself or been with someone who has. I imagine Adam has a lot of stories for this question because Adam is Adam. Thanks for everything. Will from the Wirral near Liverpool. P.S. Ross was the reason I started watching From the Name Redacted days, and I just want to send all my love to Ross because I see so much of myself in him, and I hope to see him back soon, but only when he is ready. Love you all. And this is the point where we all put our thumbs up and go, we all love you, Ross. Take care of yourself. 2 thumbs there. So, back to the question. Have you ever made a fool of yourself at a wrestling show, Adam?
Yeah.
Mr. Pacitti. I mean, yeah, you sure? You don't have some time to think about this? Or?
Yeah, no, the one that immediately sprang to mind is when I got pissed up and bothered Rey Mysterio.
Yes, I was hoping you'd use that one.
So, I just, it was soon after Cultaholic had just started, right? It had just been like a few months anyway. 5-star were doing their show at the... not the NEC. What's it called?
The arena. Just
the arena.
It's called the arena. What's it called now? The Utilita.
Yeah, the Utilita.
It used to be the Metro Radio Arena.
Yeah, that's
it. Used to be the Telewest one, yeah.
And the Telewest before that, yeah.
So it was there. I don't know. I got like 6 or 7 pints in.
Oh, just the 6 or 7 for me last night.
Yeah. All right. No, well, I'm trying to get across the point that I was drunk and then put the mask on and then tried to disrupt things. Not disrupt it. I didn't want to ruin the show, but I was shouting, Ray! Ray! to the point that he actively avoided me, which was embarrassing.
And also because these are the heads of all the kids, one high five, and then there's just this huge bloke.
Yeah, well, I wanted the head bump. I wanted the bloody him to come over because I had the mask on as well, and it would have been really poignant for everybody watching if we'd done that.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, didn't. The other time is when my arse fell out in London, and Will Ospreay cut a whole promo behind me with my anus practically exposed. That was embarrassing.
Oh, we can't count things that we've done in the ring.
But it was an accident. Sure. My trousers weren't meant to come down.
Right, true.
I sat on the chair and everybody was he was cutting a really good promo and everybody was just chanting, "Arsehole, arsehole," referring to my
Okay. Yeah.
I hope I haven't. Yeah, I'm going through my file of facts of stuff I've been at shows and stuff, but I hope I have. The only time I did something that annoyed people was at PWG when they had that little armory. And the Young Bucks taking on something in the main event. I think it was Death by Elbow, Chris Hero and JT Dunn. I think it was. And the Young Bucks the whole thing is they're dicks and they're cheating, and obviously not much has happened since then. They were doing double teaming and then cheating, and they started doing actually, they've done loads of super kicks at that point. This is like super kick number 63. And I start going, because they're baddies, right? And me being a British dude, one of them's going to be good, one of them's going to be bad, and we're going to, cheer for the goodies and boo the baddies. Start chanting, same old poop, same old poop. Because they're bad guys. All the crowd, boo! Who said that? And he's like, yeah, you show them. Then super kick 64, super kick 65, super kick 6. So, that was the only time I annoyed people, but I wasn't trying to annoy people. But it's
Did
just
they know
because
it was you
Americans
in the crowd? Did you get singled out as, it's
well, that's it.
Bottomanian
Be like,
guy,
oh,
did
look
it?
at him trying to make it all by himself. I'm like, sorry, I forget. Like, it's different over there. They're different, and we're right when it comes to crowd reactions. So
Maffew quite brutally heckles heels, I've noticed.
they're baddies.
But you say things like, if two like NXT UK guys are wrestling each other at an indie show, I've heard you shout, at least he's on Raw, if he's been like a security guard or something. It was to Joseph Connors. You shouted that at Joseph Connors, right? Who is
we can't count the title show with 10 people in attendance. Bloody hell.
Who is worthy, I'd like to point out, Joseph Connors. So you shouldn't have been so nasty to him.
We had to shout something, because there's nothing worse than going to those shows where there's not a lot of people, like the 5-star one, where there was maybe 200 people in an arena that, for wrestling, sits about 12,000. Or, as again, the equivalent, title wrestling running... what was that?
Digital.
Digital, thank you. Digital with, again, about 20 people.
There was about 20 people and it was really awkward. There was more wrestlers on the card than people in the crowd.
But that's what I mean. I'd rather be making noise than the
true,
silence and the grunt and these wrestlers, and you can hear them like, I should have got my A-levels, should have got my... it's just... So I'd rather do that and at least get some heat and something, rather than just the uncomfortableness of it.
The chants that you're trying to start there aren't about... It's not like, you suck, you suck. It's you go... You may as well be shouting, oh, you got sacked from Tesco when you were 16. It's all about their real life, isn't it?
That used to happen at MEW, by the way. There'd be people who used to chant at Dave Corbin. Not Dave Corbin, you idiot. Carbon... Who's Dave Corbin?
Dave Corbin.
Corbin, he used to chant... I just made that name up, I'm sorry. Corbin, who's a really good Northeast wrestler, by the way.
He is.
Dave Corbin.
Chant, HMV. And I go, why are you guys chanting HMV at him? He goes, because it's where he works at. It's his legit job. He was the security guard for HMV. And I'm like, right. And I go... And I went, right, mate, what do you do? They go, I'm unemployed. I'm like, all right, well, I don't get it.
That is mad, because I once was walking through town and saw none other than Lewis the Dragon Beardsley, and I waved to him. Oh, you're all right, mate. You all right? And I was walking past HMV and he was talking to the bouncer. That makes so much sense now.
You've seen Lewis the Dragon Beardsley about in town?
Well, like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But I remember...
mental. I grew up watching him. He's amazing.
I know. He's related to Peter Beardsley, actually.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a gimmick.
Me too, but no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, my dad's just turned up outside to drop my birthday present off.
Oh, really? Can he come on? Can he come on?
Get him on.
We'll keep talking.
No, he's standing outside the door while
because of Corona. Bloody hell, I forgot about that.
Put the webcam up the window.
We'll crack on, Jack. We'll crack on. Because this could go on for a while.
Yeah, whatever. Watch your lads. Hope this all finds you well. I tried this question a while back, but with Adam around doing his classic British TV watch-along, feel free to insert a plug here. When is it?
Tuesday, 8 p.m, twitch.tv/cultaholic.
Fantastic. I reckon you might be able to make a good chat out of it. Beg your pardon. Each of you have been invited along to take part in the Crystal Maze as team captains. Oh no. Unfortunately, none of your friends are available to join in because of COVID. But we all know independent contractors will take any potential payday. You'll need someone to fill each challenge type though, so who do you pick for each? Ooh. Mental, which is mental and memory skill ranging from simple brain teasers to acute memory and 2D/3D puzzles.
He's copied that off Wikipedia, hasn't he?
Of course he did.
So mental... Dexter Loomis. Because he is mental, and he seems like a very, very smart man who would just be good at stuff like that.
Similarly, I'll go with Necro Butcher, because he's properly mental, Mm-hmm. And there is the famous story of the Ring of Honor lads stuck in a airport for a while, have nothing to do, and they went and did the IQ test thing, the entire roster. And the story is Necro Butcher had higher IQs than anybody.
Really?
Yeah.
He always like, just from what I've seen of him, you know what I'm basing my my judgment off of here, which is ridiculous. It's him in the film The Wrestler, where he comes across as a nice, intelligent man. But I actually assume that he is as well. He seems like a good egg-ish.
Yeah. Physical. Testing a contestant's physical abilities, ranging from obstacle courses to lifting using cranking or manipulating objects.
Definitely off Wikipedia. Ricochet.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, because they're very rarely about strength, are they? I was watching Fort Boyard on the stream this week, and a lot of those involve strength. Like one of them, you know the thing on Gladiators that just the men have to do in the thing where you're like the hand bike thing? They made them do that. You've got to have real great upper body strength. And I'm not saying Ricochet couldn't do that, but the agility factor that Ricochet would bring to the table.
It's funny you say that. There's a Fort Boyard episode. Wait a minute, breaking news. Go on. Jack?
Sorry about that.
Hey, what was it?
Well, I've not opened it yet. I've got to come back to the podcast.
Do an unboxing.
On the podcast.
What? No, I'm not doing
the
it on the
hits.
podcast.
Oh, okay.
No, he was just dropping by. He was like, "Oh, I'll let you go, mate."
Oh.
Yeah, Graham. He's looking tanned. He's looking tanned. He's looking well. He's been in the garden, so that's good.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, good.
Good for him.
That's nice.
We're on Crystal Maze teams, so
yeah.
Jack, you need a wrestler, to do the mental challenge first.
Right. Damien Sandow.
Good shout, kayfabe, nice.
Cheers. Are we going through rapid fire? Have you got another, or is it someone else?
No, we're on physical now, so
much.
Matthew's just doing his physical.
Physical, and also just quickly going, have you seen the Fort Boyard episode where, I saw this, they've got a tank, like the proper physical weightlifting type dude, and the thing is, you have to crank the crank and make water come out. And it's supposed to have this natural progression. He does it so quickly that the crank like snaps and all the water pours out, and he does it with like 30 seconds to spare.
Amazing.
He just breaks
Did he get the key for it?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
But he could have just put his hand through the thing and grabbed it, to be honest with you. He was that big. But anyway, yeah, physical. Yeah, you're right. They're not nice to strength. They're more obstacle courses, as you said. Who's good?
Do you know who I'm going to go for?
Apollo Crews. Yes.
Oh, he's done it.
Apollo. Yeah, I get it.
Because he's big and he can flip.
Yeah,
big flipper. Go on, Jack.
Bianca Belair. She's a bit of an all-rounder, isn't she? She's good at everything.
Yeah. No, if you ask Dave Meltzer.
What did he say?
It's just there's a few Twitter accounts I've been going at him because he was like, she's not that strong. She's not that quick.
Oh.
It was like...
She won a race on Monday Night Raw. Did you not see the... She outran all of those paid actors.
No, but doesn't she always win the NXT Combine? Which is a legit...
Right.
Or do they fudge those results? I don't know.
I don't know, but she's a proper athlete, as far as I know.
Excuse me.
I don't know what the combine is, and I don't want to know, so I'll move on to mystery. Testing a contestant's problem-solving abilities ranging from treasure hunts to large-scale mazes. Ooh, problem-solving abilities.
Mystery.
I've got one.
Go on.
Vince McMahon.
Oh.
Because do you remember that angle when The Shield debuted and they were clearly Punk's henchmen, but Punk didn't want to admit it? And then Vince, for some reason, rewrote it so that he came in and just solved everything, and that was the payoff. Vince was clever and right. So I'm going for Vince McMahon for the mystery one because he's right good at solving mysteries.
Good shout. John Cena, because in the Scooby-Doo WrestleMania one, they solved the mystery together.
Good.
Not
I like that answer as well.
Or Evolution, because they are a mystery.
That's good. I'm going to go with David Otunga, because it's a mystery that he's still employed.
Yep, fair.
Fair?
He's not wrong, is he?
He's a lovely man.
Is he?
Is it?
Seems like
You
one.
don't know that. That's just kayfabe.
He looks good in jumpers.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. I'm not really defensive. I does.
Skill. Testing a contestant's dexterity, accuracy, and eye-hand coordination, ranging from target shooting, timing tests, to vehicle driving.
Oh.
When was that? Oh, they're in the small vehicles.
The little lunar rover that they control, like a remote control thing, not actually getting in a car.
Oh, okay.
Skill. Oh. So this is like who's a good all-rounder. Because it could be any number of things, the skill things. Brian? Yeah, whatever.
Oh, it's hard, this one. Who just seems like they're good at stuff? Cesaro.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect.
Oh, genius.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Oh, and we go. For me, it'd have to be Triple H for mental because he's cerebral. There we go. For physical, I have to go with Triple H. She has some humongous muscles gained from years of burying. Triple H would definitely be my pick for mystery after his solving of the Katie Vick mystery. And finally, my skill, it could only ever be Adam Cole or that ridiculous super kick on Ricochet.
Oh, not Triple H.
Yeah, I thought that was leading to that, but you've swerved us there. Okay, but I'll take because it's in Welsh. Lee from Wales via Madison, Wisconsin. It's HWYLFAWR.
No idea.
So I hope that's a happy thing. If it's not, same to you, Lee. Anyway, next question. Hi, chaps. What's your ultimate survival? And it cuts off. Delighted to see you guys still riding high during these trying times. You're a staple of my day, and my other half watches you on the regular. And prior to doing so, she could only name John Cena, Sheamus, and El Phantasmo. Met him at a Rev Pro show, and he took a particular shine to her, the cheeky sausage, and she was loving it.
Does sound like El Phantasmo, to be fair.
Yeah. He's also a doppelganger for my best mate, which made for some interesting chats in the drive home.
You're friends with someone who looks like El Phantasmo? Wow.
Yeah. Nice. My question for you, with some context, I have an extensive wrestling figure collection hidden in a box under my bed. I'm 28 years old, have a mortgage, and drive a Skoda with tray tables in the back. My fiancée of 8 years is totally accepting of the hobby and encourages it, as it's the perfect escapism from my day-to-day and keeps me from just becoming another responsible adult who works to pay his council tax and overpriced Sky TV. She originally found out by discovering a CM Punk in my bedside drawer. Oh, that
would have been used recently. You can't put that in the drawer.
I get the little plastic pals out, pose them, and rebook classic matches. I used to do that when I was a youth and must have had some sort of regression in my mid-20s. At least I don't do drugs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. The question. What passions/hobbies do you hide from your friends and family? Brackets, simply don't mention or you're too ashamed to speak about. And is any of it wrestling related? I realise these answers could go awry. Much love, lads. Keep being your wonderfully entertaining and engaging selves. Delighted to have the live streams back. Don't wreck yourself watching everything Pacitti. George Berrington, age 28 and not ashamed. As an X for a kiss. P.S. Ross, you are a gem. I can't wait to see you back on our screens when you're fit and ready. Good times. Thank you very much, George.
That's a lovely message, that one. I really like the idea of he's not ashamed. He's not ashamed about it. That's fair enough.
I did it when I went home. I found a load of wrestlers in the loft, and I was sat up in the loft. What? Not real ones. No. What are you doing in here, bloody bushwhacker, Luke? Get out. I had a play completely unironic. I wasn't like smashing them together. I was pretending I was doing a match with them. My one that I'm not really embarrassed by it, but a few years ago, my brother bought me a Yellow Submarine Lego set, and I had a great time putting it together. And I told all my family that I really liked the Lego set. And then a couple of Christmases ago, my uncle gave me a Lego Moana play set. So I guess he didn't know what to buy me, which is very sweet. It's a nice gift. It was he was trying to get something that he thought I'd enjoy, but I've had to say since I've gone off the Lego a little bit, so I don't get any more Lego Moana Lego.
Fair. I'm trying to think of one. The problem is that mine was wrestling, but now. Yeah. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. I'm pretty much over the embarrassment of being known as a wrestling fan. So mine was not when I was a kid, but when I was older and getting back into it, I was very ashamed of that. I think I've told this story on the podcast before, but it was a long time ago, I think, if I've told it, so I'll tell it again. My first like proper girlfriend when I was like 16, 17, and I was staying around hers, and I knew that night was whichever pay-per-view was Punk versus Triple H. It was just after Money in the Bank 2011, and it was then they booked Punk versus Triple H, and at the time, I thought, this is like a dream. This is amazing, because Triple H is my favourite ever. Punk was my favourite at the time. I was like, this is going to be fantastic. It wasn't fantastic, but I really needed to know who'd won. My girlfriend did not know that I was a wrestling fan, and I'd never, ever mentioned it to her. And then she fell asleep, and I just slowly turned it on and just watched it on mute and was terrified that she'd wake up. And if she woke up, my plan was going to be that I just found it just scrolling through. And that was... So wrestling's mine, but it's obviously not anymore. Yeah.
That's surprising that you were that ashamed of it. That genuinely really shocks me.
But I was. She was the first girl that I'd ever been with.
I guess
I was
so.
like,
16,
she's gonna
17,
she's gonna break up with me if she finds out about this.
Did she find out?
So, I don't know if she ever. I think I told her that I used to like it, but I don't think I ever revealed that I was back into it again. Yeah.
Yeah, like Jack said, nearly everything I've gotten into that I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody this because it's embarrassing, has become normalized, not necessarily because it is normal, but because there's people that talk about it either online and real life. Watching speedrun documentaries and stuff like Awesome Games Done Quick. My mates now watch Summoning Salt and some of the other YouTubers who go into it in depth. I'm not going to bore you too much about it because it's, if you're not into it, it's like, okay, great. It's like listen to a train spotter talk about, the Flying Scotsman or something. There's that. Wrestling, major part of that. I mean, people used to say, why was it only 6 years or so into the YouTube career that you showed your face? I went, well, what was I going to say? Hey, you never get this. I do these wrestling videos. Oh, are you a wrestler? No, that's stupid. Will you become a wrestler? No. I take bits and make music videos out of them. Oh, you're one of those highlight reel dudes. Oh, they're great. No. No, I take the bad bits. Oh, okay. I mean, you must use some really cool bands, like some indie stuff or maybe some local rock. No. Video game music. Right, okay. I mean, what the hell? I don't know how that became normalized, and I don't bring it up with people. If they ask about it, I'll mention it, but I'm not
That's
like,
a hard sell.
Guess what? Yeah.
I think I've met people before who know Maffew and had known him for a while before realizing he was Botchamania guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It might just be from where I'm from, but it's just not done from where you're from. You can't be going around going, I'm the best me. Jack can say I'm good, but I can't tell Jack, hey mate, hey, I'm good, aren't I? You're like, it's like,
so he knows he's good. He's clarified there for everyone listening. He knows he's good.
Oh,
he's always known.
You're a pro.
It's not a new thing. He's always known that he is the best at Botchamania.
Yeah. Out of the two people who've done it, he is the best one.
When he bought the rights to the Botchamania name.
It was just that email that came through that week when it was like, Maffew's really good.
Yeah, that was great. But at the same time, I hope your dad's got you a lump of coal in a box.
No, I do think you're good. Obviously, I think you're good. Come on now, Maffew. Come on. Come on now.
I know. We have this passive aggressive thing, though. It's great. I love it. It's keeping us awake.
Isn't it nice that we're at the point with like hobbies where there's not really much, unless you're into bestiality or something, you can generally, there's a community out there. I'm sure there's a community for that as well. But you can, people are just more accepting of stuff with, I guess, the internet, and everybody has got weird hobbies. I think if I was a brony, I'd keep it secret.
I was going to ask for 2 weeks off in November because I'm going to Donkey Dick Con, but now I can't now you said that.
I'll see you there.
Oh, you're a Donkey Dick dude. Oh, me too. Let me get the membership.
Oh my God.
I've got the badge. I've got the sash with the hat and everything. Oh, I'm getting Donkey Dick. But yeah, and a weird and a non-stupid thing. The thing that like me and Jack ended up talking about and making friends with on the podcast, serial killers and unresolved mysteries and stuff like that. Because I remember it brought up that crazy time in 2018. Do you remember when they caught the original Night Stalker? There's a bunch. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But the point was there were so many of them, and we're like, oh, you've heard about that as well. Oh, we like end up like, that was the thing that I read too much about. But not everyone's into serial killers.
I love them.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Great.
No, maybe that's one actually. I wouldn't bring that up immediately in conversation. But actually, everybody loves crime, and Netflix, especially, has nailed the crime documentary and brought it to a mainstream audience better than anyone has before. So yeah, I think it probably, like if you said to somebody, "Oh, I really like Evil Genius" or Making a Murderer or something like that, you're not going to get weird looks, are you? And then you could
said.
Parlay that into, I like Shipman, I like, and the rest of them, all the big ones.
Oh, especially because David Tennant's just done that bloody drama that my mum told me to watch.
Yeah.
About
Nilsson.
Yeah.
There was a Harold Shipman documentary on BBC Two this week. Very good. Recommended.
Awesome. Anyway, we've got one more question. We'll move on to Reese's Pieces. Hi, Adam and the Diddler Boys.
Don't know why they've done that.
I like that. And
I've been trying on this.
Are you not? Oh, well. I've been trying to explain to my partner that wrestling is full of stories and showing her heel turns. And she said, so when Scar killed Mufasa, that was his heel turn. Which made me think of my question, which was, what is the best non-wrestling heel turn? From Jack Uliate from Wales. Again, I much apologise for getting that name incorrect. But you're from Wales, so it's all right. That's a good question. Heel turns aren't wrestling.
I like that one.
Oh, I know. I like Trevelyan and Goldeneye.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Was that yours?
Alec?
I've got two, so it's fine.
From the dead.
Okay.
That's a great one, though.
I've never seen it. What does he do? Or she?
You haven't seen Goldeneye?
Could be a woman.
It's Sean Bean, Adam. It's bloody Sean Bean.
Oh, is it? I like Sean Bean, I think. I've only seen Casino Royale.
That was good. But...
It was a good film. Really good film.
No, I liked it, but just I can't believe you haven't seen Goldeneye.
Played the game.
It's really good. Maffew, go on, explain what he does.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Because he starts off the intro sequence, which is a prologue to the rest of the film. They're in facility, aka level 2. He goes, finish the job, James. Blow them all to hell. You have 10 seconds. And Trevelyan ends up getting burned in what is supposed to be a swerve because Ormlov shoots him, but it's a fake. But he gets burned because James Bond's like, all right, I'll set the explosives for a different time.
I should point out, no, Adam's not seen this film ever before, and I think I don't think you know what's going on.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm just getting really into recapping the entirety of Goldeneye from start to finish. So
that was like a Jackson Pollock of Goldeneye.
Yeah, sorry. You know what? I'm not going to be able to abbreviate it. You're right. Thank you for stopping me. Trevelyan is Bond's friend, and he turns.
Oh, he's still going. Okay, right. Okay.
No, he's done the yeah. That's it.
Right. I'll check it out.
And he's a Cossack, right? And his parents are no, it's fine.
He's sorry.
No,
I will actually watch it.
You should do it on England. I can't do it on stream.
Wait, for England, Maffew.
No, Alec. For me.
Oh!
And then he survives. He drops 100 feet on the concrete and he no-sells it. And then a satellite fell on his head. Anyway.
Okay.
Go on, Jack. What's yours so you can talk about it?
Walter White from Breaking Bad's the classic one for me. Slow burn heel turn there. And yeah. But I don't know if I should, because I know that Breaking Bad's one of those series that people will discover years later and binge watch all in one.
I've not seen it, yeah. I won't ask what's happening. I'd like to watch it.
It is very good, so I'll not say.
Okay.
But no, mine's Walter White from Breaking Bad. Great. Absolutely great. It's just a slow... It's not... Is it a heel turn or is it just a change in character over the course of many seasons?
Yeah.
Is this when he gets hooked on meth?
Right, you've misunderstood Breaking Bad, but that's okay.
Never mind.
You know what? You should find out by watching it yourself.
Yeah,
I will do. I will.
Yeah,
I've seen the first episode, literally like 5 or 6 times.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get into it, and I know I should have just pushed forward really rather than rewatching the same episode. It's a weird thing to do that. Mine is Grandpa Joe. It's not. I was thinking a really good one that sprang to mind immediately was the Prospector from Toy Story 2. Oh, really good reveal there.
Stinky Pete.
Stinky Pete. But I'm going to go with The Simpsons, Herbert Powell, Homer's brother. Because it's not really a full heel turn, but he is a dick. He does turn out to be a complete dick. So he lets Homer design the sort of the everyman car, the one for the typical American. And Homer does his best and he's really into it. And he gets he tries his hardest. And then the car turns out to be a piece of crap. And then Herb's really pissed off with him, like it's Homer's fault. You're the CEO of a company. You don't trust Homer Simpson to do that. Your brother. And it all comes back at the end, but I thought I didn't like Herb because of that.
Fair. Very good shout.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll go into that. Also, special mention, because I was lucky enough to see this on Independence Day weekend in America. Captain America, Winter Soldier. When the reveal happens, and I assume you two really cutting edge people know what the reveal is. Anyway, all right then. Everyone else, I'm sure the comments will know. There's a reveal, and it's a mixture of, if you've read the comics that happened 60 years ago, you know what's about to happen. So it's a mixture of when it happened and people know it was happened, and people who hadn't read it are going, oh, it happened. And when it happened, everyone in the entire cinema at the same time all yelled, ah, Bucky! And that was awesome.
Bucky.
Was it Thanos?
I don't care that you don't. Yeah, he shows up, he's Thanos, yeah. Can't we haven't seen, or whatever. We could talk about silly stuff all day, but we'll instead move on to the next segment. But before we do, if you would like to send us any questions, some feelings, just some thoughts going through your head, these three seem to be most of the time. We're all into it.
Feelings.
Please, please, please send them to mailbag@cultaholic.com. Now it's time for the segment So Good. They named a candy after it. Reese's Pieces. Tope Con, what's the crack? I love the variations of that. I am writing you today with the Reese's Pieces about favourite wrestler from a choice of two from the same country. Ooh, okay. As you will see, some were very hard to narrow down to two, while the bottom of the barrel was scraped on others. I honestly can't remember if this has been done before, as this podcast all blends to one. It's true, but it's worth a shot. Okay, fastest thought first. We'll go round Pacitti, Jack, me, Finn Balor or Sheamus.
Sheamus.
Balor.
I think Balor could be more consistently good. Sheamus was rough the first 2 years. Drew McIntyre or Grado?
Drew McIntyre, oddly enough.
Drew, but Grado burned so brightly for such a short time.
I'm going to say Grado just to spite you. Name redacted Murphy or Bronson Reed?
Murphy. Murphy's amazing. Yeah, Murphy for sure. It's
Murphy
or Bronson Reed. Murphy or Bronson Reed.
Oh, Murphy.
Yeah.
Really smooth operator on text as well.
That threw me off. Says name redacted Murphy. I thought he'd done something other than,
Yeah, I thought he was going for What Culture. I didn't read through these.
What Culture Murphy?
I'll go Bronson Reed because Bronson Reed's clean and doesn't do stuff on Raw. William Regal or Zach? Oh, Zack Sabre Jr., I imagine.
Zach off Saved by the Bell. Probably.
Yeah.
Could be Zach Gibson. It's probably Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, it will be. William Regal.
Regal.
Yeah, Regal.
Just for the character stuff more than anything else.
Yeah.
William Regal can do more stationary than most wrestlers can do moving. Mark Andrews or Flash Morgan Webster?
Oh, don't really care. No, I'll go. I'm joking. It was a joke. I like both of them a lot, actually. Flash.
Mark Andrews is kind of my spirit animal in a way. So I'll go for Mark Andrews.
Why? Why is he your spirit
Because, I
animal?
mean, there's a watch along when he's doing the My First Match with Mandrews series. Yeah. And the match is like, his match is like the psychotic psychopath versus Kid Lightning. And he goes, guess which one I am, you guys? And I just thought that was really, really good. He was Kid Lightning, by the way. So I'll go for Mark Andrews.
Yeah, you know, because of My First Match with, I'll pick Mark Andrews because I love that series.
It's really great. It's a great series. Is he
some
still doing them?
Some episodes might not be great anymore. We'll have to go back and
Good
review.
point. Yeah.
Oh, well, jeez. Killian Dane or Finlay?
Oh! Killian Finlay.
Damo.
They're both great, but Damo, because I've met him.
He wouldn't be offended by me picking Finlay. He idolises the guy, doesn't he? I think he's a big fan.
But
I think we all do, don't we?
But one of them's a nice guy and one of them's Finlay, so you know.
Well, we don't know that Finlay's horrible. I saw that fighting with the Finlay. What's it called? Not Fighting with My Family. The Fighting Finlays documentary.
Fighting with My Finlay is great.
Fighting with My Finlay, and he came across as a very nice man.
Okay.
Bret Hart or Edge?
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, sadly.
Take a guess.
Well, I wanted to pick Edge back and
because Brett's better.
Yeah.
Aleister Black or Rezar?
What? From AOP?
Razor.
What, is he from the Netherlands?
I assume so. I hope this person's in research.
Akam? I didn't even know.
I thought Akam was from the... Right, let's find out. Carry on, sorry. I'll go for Razor, by the way.
Well, it's you're going for Razor? Okay, I'll go for Aleister Black, oddly enough.
Aleister Black, yeah. I like that, even with his crappy new music. Andre the
Giant...
Giant...
they're twins, aren't they? Are they not related?
No, they're not related.
No way! I never looked into it. I didn't realise that. They look the same.
Razor's Dutch.
I had no idea.
They're 2 years younger than me. It's absolutely ridiculous, man.
Whoa.
Yeah. When am I going to grow my adult body?
It's in the box. Andre the Giant or Sylvester Lefort?
Andre the Giant. I wish I'd read these now. Andre the Giant.
The Giant.
Yeah, I'll go Andre. Alexander Wolf or David Finlay?
Wolf, because I don't know a great deal about David Finlay.
I'll go for David Finlay, because out of the two of them, I've seen more David Finlay matches that I enjoyed.
Wolf, just because of Dub X Dub. Arari Davari or Sean Davari?
Say that. I'll go for Sean Davari.
I'll go for Sean for the nostalgia factor, not Ferrari.
Arari Davari, because he once spoke Geordie on Twitter to me once. It was very good.
Nice.
Bruno Sammartino or Lou Albano?
Bruno Sammartino.
I'm going to go for Lou Albano because I've really not seen that much Bruno. No, Lou Albano seems... He played Super Mario, man.
You wrote the best, the every WWE champion ranked from worst to best, and it's literally number one. All right, sorry. I didn't see Captain Lou on the list.
It's a rule, isn't it? It's just a rule. You've got to say that Bruno's the best. It's just a rule everyone knows. You put Luthez on your top 10 favorite wrestlers.
It wasn't favorite. It was the greatest of all time. That's what I was asked to write.
Yeah,
and then they changed the piss off. I was
being
wait, is that a real thing? Turns out your favorite wrestlers.
No, they said the greatest.
I know they changed it, but it says
it's not my favorite wrestler.
Luthez.
He never shuts up about Luthez.
Yeah, I'm always going on. I've got the Thez network. All this stuff's on there. I'm never going to get over that, am I?
We nearly called this Thezaholic, but we aren't talking about it.
I've got all his matches on 16mm. Oh, great.
All right, I'm a twat.
All right. Lou Albano, because, Super Mario. Joshua and Thunder Liger or Okada?
Joshua Thunder Liger. Liger.
Oh, who was the other one, sorry?
Okada.
I'll go for Okada.
The two Japanese wrestlers you could have picked. Liger. Ray Phoenix or Pentagon Jr. Whatever name you want to call him.
Yeah, Ray.
Pentagon.
Pentagon, but it's close.
Wow, that surprises me.
Look, they're both great. Come on.
Yeah.
Bad Luck Fale or Tamatonga?
Tamatonga, because he helped us out. I wasn't there, but he did help the channel out.
I guess, Tamatonga.
Why is that, Jack?
Because he was sound, and also, out of their matches, I prefer his as well. He's very fast and nimble.
The reason why I asked, it says pause to see if Jack brings up Japan.
Right. Now, that's fair. That's fair if I brought up Japan on my own accord, but you went, what is that, Jack? So that's a bit of a setup, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I think Tamatonga still follows me on Twitter, so him. Epico.
How's that any better than me bringing up Japan?
Epico or Primo?
Epico.
Oh, Epico. He's our favorite. He's the favorite of the channel.
Yeah.
Primo's
really bad. He's bad human being.
We love Epico.
Yeah.
If Epico could somehow tag with both Thez and Sammartino in a 6-man, that would be...
The dream team, finally, Tez, Bruno, Epico. Last but not
Shield.
Last but not least, the age-old question that every wrestling fan has asked themselves countless times over the years: Bushwhacker Luke or Bushwhacker Butch?
Luke's been going at it for ages, hasn't he? I'm going to go Butch. I just preferred Butch's face when I was a kid. I remember thinking, I don't like Luke. He looks out of place there. He didn't. Of course he didn't. Butch, he just got a friendly face, hasn't he? And as he's gotten older, yeah, they're great. I like the Bushwhackers. I think they're funny.
I don't know much about the differences between them. I'll go for Luke, but just to even it out, I don't know.
Butch has got the rounder sort of pea-like head.
Yeah.
And Luke has got the more kidney bean-shaped head.
Oh, would you say Butch is like the Barry Chuckle and Luke's like the Paul? Is Luke like the leader?
Wait, which one's Paul?
Paul's the taller one.
Tall, thin?
Yeah. Barry's
That's Luke. That's Luke.
Yeah, I'll go for Butch then, because I feel like Barry Chuckle doesn't get his... I don't know. Yeah, I'll go for Butch as well.
Luke, because he's the one who did the Rumble spot where Earthquake threw him out and he just went all the way back. Thanks for all the great content you guys put out. You are all great lads, but a special shout out to Adam, who seems to be in full messer mode lately. And I couldn't be happier about that. I don't know. Cheers, Stephen in Waterford, Ireland. P.S.
I think he means Messiah. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what he means. It looks like I included that. I genuinely didn't even read that. I'm not bigging myself up by including ones that praise me. But thank you.
As I know this is Adam reading
Messiah.
this. P.S. As I know this is Adam reading this, I think you would enjoy that when you go through the wrestlers by nationality on Wikipedia. Jimmy Savile comes up in the British wrestlers section. No need to include in podcast, but shares information with Maffew on.
First of all, why did I enjoy that? I should have read the whole thing. I just skimmed down to the bit and I read, that's quite a funny Reese's Pieces. There were only like 2 or 3 this week, and I thought that's good. I read the first few, pasted it in, and I should have cut the bit that said to be cut there. Thanks for letting me know.
Wow, what a great Reese's Pieces. If you have any to share yourself, you think you do a better job than Stephen, you can by going straight to mailbag@cultaholic.com. And make sure you put any notes for Pacitti right at the end.
In bold, highlight them.
Yeah.
It's Cultaholics.
Big question.
Wow. What a great podcast.
Delightful.
And it's even greater question to end today's shenanigans. The big question is, apparently, how should John Cena return to WWE?
So what's he said today? Because there was a news thing today, wasn't there?
So this is off the back of his appearance on Jimmy Fallon this week, where John said, it was in the middle of him plugging his, what's it called, his book series about the little monster truck that could kind of thing. It's called like Full Gear. It's not Full Gear. But as he was plugging that, he said, it was a very nice message. He said, my books have got a lot of positive messages for the kids. And I like the fact that even though my wrestling career is less active these days, it's not done. I like the fact that I'm still putting positive messages out there. And everyone in the wrestling media obviously zeroed in on him saying it's not done. So that's got us thinking, if he returns, how is the best way? How will it happen?
What immediately popped into my head is because I don't think Rock is going to come anywhere near WWE while COVID is a thing, and COVID will be a thing next year. I think Cena Rock again. I know we've seen it. Cena Roman again. Sorry. I'd like to see, I think Cena Roman with Roman as the heel and getting, like if he battered John Cena, imagine if like he did a Lesnar almost. To Cena. That's probably where, and I think that's a big money match as well. Well, it definitely is.
I can't believe didn't they do it at like a random like No Mercy or something? Yeah, it was very strange.
It was a B pay-per-view, that's for sure.
Why?
But they bigged it up. Like this has a WrestleMania level card because it had Reigns versus Cena and Braun versus Brock, I think.
Right.
And Cena versus Reigns was forgotten about as soon as it was finished, and Lesnar and Braun just didn't have chemistry.
Yeah.
Weird. Very weird pay-per-view. But yeah, I completely agree, Pacitti. This would be a perfect opportunity if Cena is going to come back for this one big match, and he seems to be willing to come in. What was the last time he was in? They did Takeover Australia, and he had spent the entire time building up his dreaded 6th move that he'd learned.
Oh, yeah. And he was just trolling.
Yeah, and he did maybe a minute's worth of action of that whole thing, and then that was
Good
He was at Mania. He was at Mania.
Yeah, he did Firefly Funhouse.
He did Mania, but it wasn't really a match though. But yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that because I think that'll be just for the promos alone. I don't care about the matches. Just Roman Reigns being the Roman Reigns he is now with Cena. All in for that.
That would be great. I'd prefer Roman Rock, but obviously, I mean, Cena would be great for it as well. It can't be against somebody he's going to have like a proper wrestling match against, because he will be slowing down now, and it would be sad to see him have a worse match than we know he can have. So I think it's got to be someone like a one where it's all built on the feud and the character and the story. So Roman would make a lot of sense.
And that could play into a Rock match down the line as well, because obviously Cena and Rock have had the history, and then Rock could come in next year and it's like, I've already beaten the man that beat you. I guess they win, but that's
a good shout. I can't think who else. The Fiend again, but that's already been done, so I don't see that one.
What do you think of Taker, them having a proper match? Because we didn't get one at WrestleMania, not a proper one.
In that case, it's not Cena's work rate that I'm worried about. It's Undertaker. I really liked that moment just on its own. I like Undertaker just squashing Cena.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? What about putting over somebody like Keith Lee, maybe?
Ooh.
Like if you were to choose somebody to
I was very confident
for Cena to put over.
Yeah.
On the right, if you were to pick an up and comer, who would you choose there?
Randy Orton, I think.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Have they wrestled before?
Not sure. Have to check Cage Match.
Yeah.
Maffew, what do you think?
I agree completely with what Pacitti said. It would be nice with what you said if Cena come in and lose to somebody. I don't see it happening, just given the track record. And if he was going to lose to someone, you'd think it would be someone that they're already putting all the chips in on, which would be Big Drew.
Oh, yeah. Drew.
Big Drew versus Big John.
We've got the storyline, which is currently unresolved, of course. Cena has equaled Flair's record. How could that play into it? Would you go for a WWE title match, Universal title match?
Oh my god! Oh. If Orton wins at Hell in a Cell and beats Drew, the rumor mill's going to just start, isn't it? We're going to have Orton and Cena at WrestleMania. Oh my god!
Oh, for God's sake! No, no. The rumor mill is going to start off, and we need this for the thumbnail. If we really want clicks.
Go on, yes, please.
Should John Cena return to WWE, or should he go to AEW?
Thank you. There's the thumbnail. Thank you very much. Cheers. There we go.
Put a black clover on his head like you did that previous thumbnail.
What else do we need for the thumbnail? CM Punk always does well.
Yeah.
I think you find Cody that Cena eats first, and then there's
implied nudity. What Culture did gangbusters with that one of Eva Marie where her top pinged off. So we'll whack that on there.
I think Tubman was saying the other day that we were talking about like most viewed videos on the channel and stuff, and I think Tubman went, I edited the most viewed video on What Culture's channel. I think it was Tubman saying that. And it was that Eva Marie one, yeah.
Nuts, isn't it? Well, isn't it literally like 10 things they want you to forget about Eva Marie?
Yeah, but it's because she's pretty and looked like she had no clothes on.
And a thumbnail that looked like there was going to be nudity.
Yes.
I mean, fair play.
Why haven't we done that?
Ours is like every WWE champion ranked again. It's that Sammartino. Those Sammartino clips. we put Sammartino in.
Lutez with a.
We've got so much more integrity that a man who has seen grainy footage of Sammartino, put him at number 1 in the list of the greatest champions ever, and it's our most viewed video. So,
who was number 2?
Brett.
It was Brett, and it didn't go down well.
It didn't go down
well at all.
No.
In terms of length. Surely Bob Backlund should have been second.
It wasn't just in terms of length. I took loads into account. It took me ages.
Oh, well, you should watch it, Maffew. You'd enjoy it. It's brilliant.
I know the result is now. So
thanks to all the editors as well. It was like a patchwork job of like
guys.
It was like a patchwork job of like 5 different editors all in one. And
it was approaching Christmas, I think.
At one point, you can see the Simpsons references start to creep in, and I'm like, "That's Richard's beard. There's Tubman. There we go."
Who was last? Who was like least best?
Rey
Mysterio.
Oh, that's fair enough, actually.
Because his title reign lasted a few minutes and Cena bullied him.
And then Vince was at number 2. Number 49.
Or like the second.
There were 50 at the time.
Yeah. We did it for the 50. Yeah.
We're working on our biggest one yet. So we've gone completely off topic. We're working on like a massive one. The writer who's on it, Jack Atkins, has been writing it now for about 3.5 months. It's huge.
Yeah, I feel bad for him.
What is it?
I mean...
I feel worse for the editors.
Before the lockdown happened again and we were back in the office, and he'd just randomly, I can't reveal what it is, but he'd say something and I'd just think like, you poor man watching that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, go on. What was the video?
We can't say. It's our big. It's literally going to be in excess of 2 hours. It's a huge undertaking.
Huge.
Undertaking.
Oh, he's got it. Every Undertaker tombstone ranked from worst to best. Join us. You'll have to watch it when it comes out in 2027.
Fantastic. Well, I hope we're all alive by the time that comes out. If not, well, you won't be able to hear this, so it doesn't matter. But what does matter is the fact that you have watched all the way to the end of the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast. You lucky, lucky thing. Don't worry, there's still more to come. Pacitti, what have you got to plug?
Now, the Twitch streams again, Tuesday, twitch.tv/Cultaholic. I do it. But everybody's on there at the moment. I think we're really enjoying it. Jack and Owen are saving Sunderland. Sam is failing at Fall Guys. Lovely Andrew, is playing Jack and Daxter. Ross is doing Love You By Fridays.
Tom's doing Love You By Fridays.
Did I say Tom? I said Tom, didn't I?
You said Ross.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
You did.
Tom is doing. My phone is going off. They're the plug. Cultaholicsshop.com. You can get not this t-shirt because it's sold out, but there's other merch.
Other people should have to buy the other ones like that. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate that.
There you get there. Look at that. Look at that.
Didn't mean to show my arse. Sorry.
And so people should get the shirts before they sell out. Then is what you should.
Absolutely, Maffew.
Yeah.
Mine,
because once they're gone, and they will never ever come back unless we think there's enough demand for them, and then we'll But no, we're not generally reprinting stuff.
Yeah. And there's a new Botchamania out, and you can find it by Googling Botchamania. You know how to find things. You're very clever. You're very smart. And that's why we appreciate talking bollocks to you for so long. You can join in the bollocks by going to the mailbag at cultaholic.com. Email address to send us some stuff. And also going to patreon.com/cultaholic to vote for the prestigious Hall of Fame. How dare you say otherwise? But for now, we've talked for enough for one day, we think. So please exit the YouTube video by putting your hand slowly against your webcam or your monitor or anything. Give it a cheeky wipe afterwards, though. Don't be daft. After 3, say the following slogan. 1, 2, 3. Join us.
Join us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.